3 of 4 from the Yankees, but lost their $185 million ace Jacob deGrom, who is landing on the 15-day injured list with elbow inflammation. The Heat upset the Knicks in New York, but Jimmy Butler suffered an ankle injury late in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, while the Warriors are headed to the second round, knocking off the Kings in Game 7 as Steph Curry, who had 50, yelled, "Light the beam."
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good afternoon.
Wait a minute.
What?
Who are you?
Me?
Continue. Look different.
I am not Michael Jimenez of Jimenez and Spence. I am James Pledger filling in for Michael Jimenez on Jimenez and Spence.
You mean Jimenez gets vacation? I mean,
I was wrong.
He gets a day off. I mean, how many days of PTO does he get?
Trust me, we got enough drops here to will sound like he's here.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it must be nice to be Mike Jimenez. Oh my.
I mean,
Lord.
he's so egotistically driven though that he's going to be calling in here in the next segment.
Oh my gosh. Color me shocked. He's on vacation. He still can't get away from the ranch.
Not only that, he is calling in, also joining us via StreamYard from a boat because he can't get away from social media and letting people know where he is at all times. From a boat.
Now, is the boat moving, as in the picture, if you're on YouTube, it's going to be jumping up and down?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure. He said send him a StreamYard. He's on the boat, but he's got his headphones and he's willing to do this thing live.
Oh my gosh.
So it's a busy weekend, huh?
So yeah, let's just get right to it. I mean, were you anywhere this weekend besides, watching, you weren't at home. Where were you there? Where were you?
I was, I'm watching the draft. I was just watching the draft.
Where were you? Just watching the picks come down?
Yeah, just really taking in the whole thing.
I saw some social video that would tell me a little bit different.
That social video probably not really good for air on radio. I don't know how many beers deep at that point in the draft, but the anxiousness of what was happening with my team had taken its toll to that point.
Well, we have to get into that because I'm really confused. So on Thursday, no, this is Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
Okay.
I hear from Jimenez saying, "Oh, did you see Pledger jump up and down when they picked, quarterback at number 2?" And then
CJ Stroud, my quarterback has a name.
Well, I guess I'm a little confused because I thought you were all about getting a defensive player at 2 because the quarterback, help me understand, because at one point, I think halfway through the draft, the Texans owned the draft, and then we'll get into the Eagles here in a second, but walk me through your emotions when you saw 2 and 3 unfold.
2 and 3. That was the craziest part of it. Was I was mentally preparing myself for them to go defense and talking myself into how this was going to be the right move. But deep in my heart of hearts, as always, what they'd said all along from the very beginning was there were 2 quarterbacks at the top of this draft. I thought that may have been smoke, and there was one, and that their one was going to be gone. And so that they were pivoting off of that into defense. And we've seen it is really hard to win in this league without a quarterback. And the AFC, more so than the NFC, is chocked full of great quarterback play. So I was in a very, I don't know, what are the 5 stages of grief? Denial, bargaining, acceptance,
alcohol.
Yeah, I think that's one of the stages.
Yes, exactly.
I was definitely going through all of those as we were getting there. So I'm trying, as we lead into the draft, talk myself into the fact that it's DeMeco Ryans. This is his draft. This is his pick. He's been in the San Francisco system. He knows what it's like to win with a 7th round Mr. Irrelevant. I was trying to talk myself into that mindset.
You certainly were trying to talk yourself into that conversation.
But deep in my heart of hearts, I wanted a quarterback because it's really hard to win the NFL without a good quarterback.
Is CJ Stroud that quarterback?
I think he is. I thought at the onset of this, there were two quarterbacks at the top of this draft. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Bryce Young was my number one. CJ Stroud I thought was a close second, but then I thought there was a huge gap between those two and Levis Hooker and
we'll get to Levis in a second, but
Richardson.
CJ Stroud, at one point, you could feel him sliding down the draft board based on what he was saying, what was coming out about him.
Yep.
Rumor here, fact there.
S2 scores.
I don't do tests. His ego was writing checks that I don't know if he could actually deliver at that point. And then the Texans go ahead and make him 2, and then everyone's like, well, he should have been 2 in the first place. I mean,
here's the great thing about everything is tape doesn't lie. And CJ Stroud's tape is really, really, really good.
It's really good too. Yeah.
A lot gets thrown out in this pre-draft process, including lies, trying to get players to fall down the draft board, possibly to them.
I think everything is being thrown to the wall.
And the greatest thing about it is, I remember last week I pulled up a clip from, it was Kyle Shanahan. So Bobby Slowick and D'Amico Ryans both come from San Francisco, where Kyle Shanahan, obviously John Lynch, run that ship. And he and John Lynch, I remember in a post-draft interview after they got Trey Lance, were just ridiculing, laughing, making fun of the fact that these rumors came out about Matt Jones, and that's who they were trading up for. And they just let everybody run with it because it doesn't hurt them to have this smoke out there.
It doesn't at all.
So I see the elation in which Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans have after day one in their press conference and talking to these guys in the media. And I'm like, they let these rumors go because they didn't care. It helped them.
Let's talk a little bit about the quarterback situation in general. Here it is, Anthony Richardson, who is a first-round conversation before the combine. He wows everybody. Somewhere in the mix, he starts moving up the draft board. Will Levis, at the same time, is talking about being number 1. He doesn't even make it till day 2.
By the way, did his girlfriend dump him before the end of the first round?
Well, she's a social butterfly, so we'll see what happens. But I think that's true love, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see though.
We'll see. Look, as we learn every year, quarterbacks are pushed up draft boards. Anthony Richardson, very well as a Florida fan, has a ton of tools.
But he's not there yet.
But the tape doesn't back up the tools. So he's a guy that you're hoping that you can groom. Shane Steichen is hoping that he can do what he did with Jalen Hurts with an Anthony Richardson, right? Because let's face it, Jalen Hurts wasn't a finished product or even close to it coming out.
That's not a bad point. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the first year or so, he did not do anything to, say, look at me in a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
So I think Anthony Richardson is that, and they do have a guy in place. Remember, they signed Gardner Minshew, who was the backup in Philadelphia this past season. He could possibly hold down the fort for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it takes for a Anthony Richardson to get up to speed, and also to make life easy on a quarterback like an Anthony Richardson. Shane Steichen can do a lot of that zone read stuff. Anthony Richardson's legs can really make things easier for him, and he can expand the offense as he starts to get it, kind of the way he did with Jalen Hurts late in his rookie year when he started to just kind of implement him in here and there.
That said, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The Super Bowl runs through stinking Philadelphia Eagles. End of conversation.
Hold on.
I mean, come on.
Hold on.
Did they fall into the mother load, or did they fall into the mother load?
Look, the NFC runs through Philadelphia. until proven otherwise.
You're like me.
The Super Bowl runs through where I was just at.
Kansas City. Okay, I get it. But if you talk about, well, they lost this guy and they lost this guy, they fall into what would constitute. I mean, let's go back to Friday, and Jimenez and I were sitting here talking, and he was like, "Oh, a lot of people were like, hey, the Eagles won the first day." Okay.
I mean, Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, and then you swing a trade for DeAndre Swift.
Right. But if you look at the first half of the draft, okay, about midway, you're going, this is all Texans all the time.
I was feeling really good. I didn't care. And I know a lot of people are making a lot about what the Texans gave up to move from 12 to 3.
Who cares?
In essence, it was next year's first round pick and a third. And you gave up a second this year. Chicago gave up, or Chicago got more for Carolina to move up about the same amount of spots. So I'm not concerned with that.
Why would you be?
But I look at what the Eagles did, and you lose Javon Hargrave in free agency, and you get to replace him with what a lot of people before the draft process thought was the best prospect in this draft. It was either him or Will Anderson. And you land him at 9. And then on the end of the second round, you get a guy a lot of people thought were going in the top 15 with Nolan Smith, and that defense that just had pick after or sack after sack after sack. I think it was 4 players with 10 or more sacks last season. You lose a piece of that, and then you bring in 2 more, and that's just on day 1. The rest of the draft, they also killed. I mean, getting Kylie Ringo late in the 4th round, 5th round, wherever they got him, that was amazing too. Can we just start calling Philadelphia Georgia North?
Everyone already has jumped on that hand grenade, and they have really just outdone themselves. But let's go back to, they trade up to 9 to get Jalen Carter. Who in their right mind thought Jalen Carter would be available at 9?
A lot of people thought he was going to take a big slide because of all the off-the-field stuff, because of his bad pro day workout, because he was gassed and he looked out of shape. Like there were questions, and there were character questions fairly about him, his work ethic, and also the things that he does when we're talking about, the off the field racing and stuff like that. And if you give this guy money, how's he going to handle it? Like, these are legit questions when you look at what happened off the field with him versus you're about to give this man a whole lot of money.
So what's coming up next? We really have to hear from Jimenez. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I don't think he knows what a day off. He called begging me to come on. So I was like, all right, it's fine. I'm good. I slept in a little bit that day.
I was looking forward to 3 days not hearing from Jimenez. I did get a couple text messages, but 3 days. It was like one of those long holiday weekends. But no, we have to.
No. He won't let that happen. As a matter of fact, if you're on our YouTube live feed at SA Sports Star, you can see Jimenez, who will be joining us from a boat in Florida. I don't know where in Florida. Maybe he'll enlighten us, but we'll get his thoughts on the draft
fishing too,
and what went on, as apparently vacation is not a thing to him.
Not
the
at all.
Show must always go on with Michael Jimenez, who joins us next right here on Jimenez and Spence on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, Phoenix. We break it all down for you.
Will McClay still has work to do. Where are the undrafted free agents landing? We'll give them all to you. The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem, and it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Davies Entertainment, Viva La Brawl, coming to the Techport Arena May 5th, and we have your chance to win your way in. Join the Blitz live this Wednesday at Slackers North Star from 3 to 7. Meet and greet with Viva La Brawl fighters Brown Navarez, Brittany Ordonis, and Eddie Ortiz. Happy hour specials and your chance to win free tickets to Viva La Brawl on Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. It's this Wednesday at Slackers North Star with the Sports Star and Davies Entertainment crew, all starting at 3 o'clock.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Having McDonald's breakfast is delicious. Having someone else get you McDonald's breakfast is delicious-er. Right now, get a big breakfast with hotcakes for just $4.99, only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
I was in a terrible car accident. I suffered a traumatic brain injury and also injured my spine. My daughter-in-law called Jeff Davis. After expenses and attorney fees, I received $86,559. I want everyone in San Antonio to know Jeff was here for me.
I'm Jeff Davis. If you were injured by a car or large truck, call me at my San Antonio office at 444-4444. That's 444-4444. There's only one number to remember, and that's 4.
Grand slam, bomb, went yard, long ball, dinger. Do you even know what I'm talking about, Nigel?
Croquet.
Nigel, I'm talking about baseball. Courtroom plumbing and air conditioning is a lot like a baseball team.
Should we wear cups, Joe?
When a person has plumbing problems or their air conditioner just isn't cooling right, they can rely on our team to make the big plays. We hit it out of the park every time. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing and Air Conditioning, day or night, 651-5899.
Joe, should I start singing now? Take me out.
License
number 8004 PACLA 0007435.
Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to Jimenez and Spence right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger, sitting in for Mike Jimenez, along with Tim Spence.
You're sitting in for the vacationing Mike Jimenez.
The vacationing Mike Jimenez, who is joining us because he doesn't know what a day off is, on a boat somewhere in Florida. Mikey, what's going on, my man?
What is going on, you fellas? How are y'all doing, my man?
Do you even like time off?
Well, technically, I'm working over here on my business. But,
okay.
I'm going up and down the channel right now in Tampa Bay.
What,
so
searching for business?
That's right. That's right. So the university.
You find a yacht, you pull up next to it, and you start pitching your business. Is that it?
Hadn't even thought about that, but now that you
yes, he's looking for the so-called big fish.
Jerk.
So, Mike, NFL draft thoughts. Your weekend, how did you take what happened?
Oh, dude, I love the NFL draft so very much, man. It was
Same.
amazing. It was amazing, and the excitement that you had when the Texans got C.J. Stroud at number 2 was classic. It was classic pleasure right there. But looking at like the Cowboys, for example, getting overshown from Texas was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The only concern I have about the Cowboys draft is that they waited until the 5th round to get an offensive lineman. Aside from that, it was pretty perfect for a lot of teams. Philadelphia Eagles just killed it. My Saints killed it. I'm interested to see what Deuce does for the Cowboys. Can a 5'5" running back actually survive in the NFL in a Darren Sproles kind of way?
Well, judging by your Bryce Young take, that is a horrible pick.
Well, first of all, there's never been a 5'5" running back to do anything of significance in the NFL. Okay, maybe you go back to the leather helmet days. But, you know, we've seen shifty running backs who can have a decent career. He's not going to be a 1,000-yard running back by any stretch of the imagination. He's not going to be the RB1 ever. But if he can be a Darren Sproles type of player, I'll take it.
Do you think we got caught up in the emotional side of things when it comes to drafting a coach's son out of TCU? Or do you think really there was something there to it versus just the emotional ties?
No, man, how contrived was that? That was the first thing that came to my mind. I know it's a great story. I know you see the coach go, hey, do you want to come with me to work on Monday? And then I have someone who wants to talk to you. Hey, it's me, it's Jerry. There's all of that, and I understand it's a great story and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, the guy produced in college, so it's not like he was a scrub. But, I mean, it had to have played a factor into it, the fact that he was a coach's kid. You can't tell me otherwise.
Michael Jimenez joining us on his day off on a boat in Florida. Go out to our YouTube channel. Check it out yourself. You'll see the nice, where are you, Miami?
No, he's in Tampa. Dude, I recognize the area. He's in one of the.
I'm in Tampa.
Yeah, he's in one of the back channels. I see. Hey, here's the best. He's supposed to be working, right?
I see fishing poles.
I see fishing poles. I see fishing poles. And the poles are moving. So, are you fishing or working?
Yes.
A little bit of both. I'm talking to clients and everything over here.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is the second life. This is the second life of Michael Jimenez, which is the financial side. But it's interesting. We do have the poles out if we want to go do some fishing. We've seen some dolphins. We're now on our way to St. Pete. So we're going. We started we started. I don't know where the heck we were when we started. Apollo Beach. Made our way to Tampa. We're going to St. Pete. We went to Beer Can Island. So check that out as well. But no, this is fun. It's beautiful out here.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I joked on Twitter that I don't need high blood pressure medications anymore. I just need a boat. This is amazing.
Mike, you brought up the fact that you were disappointed that the Cowboys didn't take an offensive lineman until the 5th round. Does that say more about the lack of talent in this draft that they didn't feel matched their board? Or does it actually say more about the faith that they have in the guys that are in the building, which we've heard time after time from them, including guys we didn't get to see last year due to injury like Matt Walesko?
Well, I mean, that's interesting because if you take a look at the board that the Cowboys supposedly had, as far as what they were looking at, they drafted for need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they drafted for need when they went for a defensive lineman in the first round. They drafted for need when they went for a tight end. They drafted for need when they went for a running back. So if they're drafting for need rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4, then that kind of gives you the confidence that they like who they have inside the locker room already. Now, if Tyron Smith can stay healthy, that would be huge, but we can't count on that. So it's a roll of the dice. But overall, I like what the Cowboys did.
Do you think? Let's shift to quarterback real quick and Will Levis. Were you cringing or were you laughing as he slid into the second round?
I was laughing.
He was laughing maniacally. I know who this guy is.
Dude, that's the drama of the draft, baby. Seeing people slide on down. And, 17 people were invited into the green room. And, Spence, you and I debated, will one miss out? And if so, which one would it be? And you and I both theorized that it would be Will Levis. He was the obvious one. And no matter what Reddit says or the casino said, he was the one that was obvious to slide on down, and he slides down into the second round. What's funny is that I saw those videos of people in Vegas who had tickets saying that the Titans were going to draft him, and they were like wanting to throw them away after the first round, but then for him to go on down into the second round and still be able to cash out was pretty cool.
So on Will Levis sliding down the draft board, Brian Branch also took a little tumble down the draft board. They were the two guys left in the green room at the end of day one. Will Levis goes home, citing he only had one suit. Brian Branch mans up, goes into the green room on day two, comes out on the stage that next day while I was out there. Will Levis nowhere to be found when he gets picked. He was somewhere in his own living room. Do you see that as a knock or a slight against dealing with adversity?
Very much so. I mean, that says a lot about Brian Branch. I mean, he still sees this as a dream come true to walk that stage, whether it happened in the first round or the second round. he was the highest rated safety on the board. It's amazing that he tumbled down so quickly. But Will Levis, I mean, you can't get another tie. You can't get another shirt for that suit.
Yeah, I was told growing up that you really only need 3 suits and you can make like 600.
It's so bad. It is so bad.
I mean, Steve Harvey, what does he say in that TikTok? All you need is four pants and 4 jackets, and you've got like 70 outfits.
Exactly.
No, well, but Will Levis, maybe, just maybe, the women he was with didn't have a second dress. Maybe it was them. But no, it says a lot, and I hate to say that because, I mean, the knocks on this guy. Think about it: the fact that he doesn't show up for day 2 and gives a half-ass reason why. The guy takes mayonnaise in his coffee, ketchup with his chicken fried steak. Come on, man. There's
eats a banana with a peel.
Being outright weird. Eating the banana with a peel. There's being quirky and there's being a weirdo, and he's a weirdo.
Now, I got one more question for you, and this is really not a sport. Well, it's not a draft question, but more of a sports in general question. Are you a fisherman that has people bait his own hook, or do you take those those reels and rods behind you and actually put the bait on? And if you do, which kind of bait do you use when you go fishing?
Okay, so we were attempting to use sardines this morning. Okay, so I mean, nature's bait, but I'm capable of doing it myself. Though I will say I have one eye open because the other eye gets closed. I get a little squeamish, but no, I have fun out here. And
a little squeamish.
Business partner's boat.
Dude,
Yeah,
we're talking sardines. Where's the shrimp? I mean, let's cut off the head of a mullet, hook it up, and throw it out and catch something big. Squeamish? What are you talking about?
Didn't catch anything so far today, my man, but catching a tan, but I didn't need one.
Well, you're using the wrong bait, Mike. You got to use bigger fish.
First off, you got an LSU shirt on. Get rid of the LSU shirt. You're not in New Orleans.
Did you know that that's where his daughter goes to school?
No, man. But this is fun out here, man. This is so great being out here in the water. It's 81 degrees. We just pulled over to get some ice cream. That's what we did, and we're gonna be out and about. We're gonna be out till about 5 or 6. Yeah. I mean, calories don't count when you're out of state, Spence. You can know that.
He is Michael Jimenez, co-host of Jimenez and Spence, joining us here this morning. Mike, you got time to do this again at 2:15?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, Mike Jimenez, join us a little bit later in the show.
See you a little bit.
Maybe talk about some NBA playoffs or something at that point. Enjoy your time on the water, my friend. Catch something by the next time I see you.
Catch something.
Okay. I'll see what we can do, man. Make it happen. I'll bring a dolphin onto the boat or something.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. The big stuff. Michael Jimenez joining us on the Buyers Barricade guest line here on Jimenez and Spence.
Coming up next,
though, we're going to talk about the Cowboys' first-round pick. He mentioned him a little bit earlier, Mozzie Smith. We're going to break down into that a little bit and then hear from Mozzie Smith himself as he joined the Blitz last Friday. That's all coming up next here on Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
48 hours later, who won the NFL draft? The Eagles? The Texans? Where are the Cowboys? Where did they end up? We'll discuss. Playoff shockers, Bruins, Avs, Grizzlies, Bucks, even the Kings. Playoffs continue tomorrow with the Heat and Knicks Game 2. What's the status of Jimmy Butler? We'll find out Tuesday night at 6 on sister station ESPN 1250.
If you own a small to medium-sized business that kept employees on payroll through COVID, you may have a big cash refund waiting for you. The Employee Retention Credit is a tax credit of up to $26,000 per employee. And now, more businesses than ever qualify. The experts at RefundsPro.com specialize in cutting through the red tape of qualifying for this government program. Most of their refunds are over $100,000. Even businesses that have received PPP funds may be eligible. And there are absolutely no fees unless you receive a refund. So there's no reason not to apply. If your business experienced shutdowns, limited capacity, supply chain challenges, or reduced revenue due to COVID, you likely qualify. RefundsPro.com has already helped hundreds of businesses. So don't lose the refund you're owed by missing the deadline. Get started today with a free 5-minute questionnaire at RefundsPro.com. That's refunds with an S, pro.com.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Everything that you'd ever seen with Miranda Lambert on it, I have my finger on pulse of what it is. Idlewind, I've seen every article of clothing. I've spent hours and hours sending inspirations. I've sent clothes that I love and fabrics, and I'm involved in every single garment that you see. It's important to me that it is an extension of my music, and it's an extension of who I am. I always want it to stay as honest as my music. Idlewind at Boot Barn.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie!
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity!
We're going to the city?
Authenticity!
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic! Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie!
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity!
We're going to the city?
Authenticity!
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic! Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and on ESPNSA.com. You can also watch us live on our YouTube channel, San Antonio Sports Star. Just search it, subscribe, get notifications when we go live, as all shows are live. Of course, you can also call or text on the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines at 656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. Man, Mike looked like he was having a good time.
Dude, let me just tell you.
And I found something out about you today.
Let me just tell you.
You're a fisherman.
My tongue, it was hanging out like a freaking dog in heat. I mean, watching him with those poles behind him going down just the canals in Tampa, okay, of which I've been on enough times and I know the turns, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Fishing is like, it's a Zen place for me.
That's a scary place for me. That was a lot of time being still.
Yeah. And you know, it is for what it is for, you know, certain people. But, you know, I could sit, and I told this is another lifetime back in Denver. I told somebody who was another fishing guide. I said, you know, for me, peace is throwing the line out with a bobber, this is as simple as it can be, onto a body of water and not seeing it move, but the anticipation of it moving is all I need to find peace.
You could tell at the draft how well I do with anticipation. On the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines, 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. Jason chimes in, texts in saying, sometimes I disagree with Spence on his sports takes, but the man knows how to fish.
Oh, yeah, dude. Especially when it comes to saltwater. Are you kidding me?
I'll tell you one thing the Cowboys do well. They actually draft very well in the first round. You go back over the last 10, 15 years, the Cowboys have, you could argue, only 2 misses in the first round. Those being Taco Charlton.
That was a big swing and miss.
It was a big swing and miss, but everything else has been hit. And we're talking about potential Hall of Famers with a lot of these hits they've had.
So grade the Cowboys. Because I've seen anything from, I bet Jimenez, we didn't ask him, but I bet he would say
I've seen
probably
C+
B something
to A minus.
Oh,
I've
right.
seen a wide range.
And you're really probably not going to know for sure 2 to 3, 4 years down the road.
I am a big fan of instead of a grade because I
think it's hard to put a grade.
It's hard to put a grade to it. Yeah. I have where I think players probably should have went versus where they went. Like Luke Shoemaker, the tight end out of Michigan, they took in the second. I was early considering the tight ends that were on the board that I liked a little bit more. But the Texans did the same thing with Juice Scruggs, but they're running that zone system. So if you think he's the guy, go get the guy if you don't want to lose him. And that's my philosophy.
Yeah, if this fits into the model, into the plan, then great. Let's go back to Mozzie, because we're going to hear from Mozzie here in a second. If the key for the draft was them to stop the run, then I think this was an A+.
It looks like it, because I look at Mozzie Smith, and he's a dude that had a PFF grade of 75 or better in each of the last 2 seasons. He can push the pockets. He's big. He's strong. Although, I wonder if that strength transfers.
What do you mean?
It's one thing to beat up on college players and get your hands on them and force them where you want to do. It is another thing to do it to grown men.
Well, I think the point of Mozzie in the middle is you're not going to move the man, okay?
I hope not.
So if that's the case, you're going to have a double team on him at nose tackle or nose guard, right at absolutely every play. So that frees up other players.
You know what gives me the biggest kind of check mark on Mozzie Smith? The reaction I saw from Micah Parsons when the Cowboys drafted Mozzie Smith. That told me all I needed to know.
And it's funny how he knew Mozzie was in the conversation, because the Cowboys tied him into the conversation. There's no other way.
There's no other way. He was so excited on draft night when I saw the replay of the Bleacher Report and him going through it, and then also calling out Jalen or AJ Brown of the Eagles after they got both the Alabama guys. But Mozzie brings a lot to the table, and he was on the Blitz on Friday, and it's something you can catch on our audio vault at espnsa.com. But we're going to jump into it right here on Jimenez and Spence right now. And he starts off just kind of explaining what the whirlwind of the draft to the phone call to the star, what that 24 hours was like from draft night to them.
It's the real quick turnarounds, man. A lot of emotions. When I first got drafted, man, I didn't know what to say. It was a stunning moment, a moment that was a long time coming. But today, now I feel like I'm ready to blow up. We need to get in the training camp or something.
Mozzie, when you get there to the Star in Frisco and you see the facility and you meet, some of the, I don't know how many players you met, but the coaches and Jerry Jones and all of that, that's just got to be, like going to Disneyland, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for real, it is. It is. It's like going to, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the level of opulence in this building is on another level. And you could just tell that, Mr. Jones and the staff in here and the ownership, everybody, just takes care of this place, take care of their players, take care of their people. This is a family. It's a family first atmosphere here, and I'm just happy and just proud to be part of it.
Mozzie Smith joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Mike McCarthy mentioned multiple times last night in the press conference about how you crushed it on your visit, one of those visits that you had. Tell us what that visit was like for you.
Man, it was star-studded. I saw people that I had heard about. I saw people that I had seen at other places, and of course, I saw Mr. Jones, who I've seen everywhere. And just knowing football the way I do, the hands that I was shaking, I was just very appreciative and just very open and letting people know who I was and the type of person I am and the type of player I want to be. Even meeting, Coach Reef, Sharif Floyd, he coach here now, and just meeting him and being able to talk ball with him and chop it up with him, it's just an honor and just an honor, man.
Well, I tell you what, I can't even imagine, Jason and I, either one, Mozzie, what you're feeling right now, because we never got to where you're at, but it's got to be a surreal feeling. So to Cowboy fans that are wondering about Mozzie Smith, what would you say is the strength of your game?
First off, I'm a dog first, so everything that you see me do on the field is aggressive. I'm always the aggressor. That's my goal. Put my hands on somebody and make them go backwards. I'm a physical player. I was physical at the college level, and it's time to figure out how to be physical at this level too.
And you're strong. I mean, your strength is your strength, isn't it? I mean, you're ridiculously strong and athletic for your size.
Yep, that's true.
Well, it is. I mean, Mozzie Smith joining us here on the Blitz. I'm curious. I mean, you look at all the mock drafts and take us through the process. I mean, I don't know if you consumed all the mock drafts and some had you going there, some here, some there. What's it like for you? And did you think you were going to end up where you are with a star on your helmet?
Well, I saw a couple of mock drafts where we were talking about, 26 to the Cowboys or 29 to New Orleans, and I just like, are they serious? But I just, I know people drop. I know how much you can't, you got to take every mock draft with a grain of salt. So I was just trying to, keep a level head and listen to my agent, and just manage expectations, But they was right. Mozzie Smith, 26th pick to the Cowboys, to the star, is a beautiful thing, a beautiful feeling, and a blessing.
We know Cowboy fans are feeling the same way, but I have a feeling, Mozzie, that we owe your mom a bit of gratitude when it comes to how good a player you are. Heard a story that she threatened to take away your Pop-Tarts back in Pop Warner. What was that all about?
Yeah, she did. I was 7. I was 7 playing for the Titans. I think I was playing on the Mighty Mites. I was playing with the 9 and 10-year-olds, or the Tiny Mites, 9 and 10-year-olds, and we in the middle of a game. I'm on the field. I'm lined up over the center, and I just hear her scream. I know her voice. I hear her scream. She's talking about, if you don't make a play, you ain't get no Pop-Tarts. I was like, if I had, I was like, all right, bet. I make something happen.
Everybody's motivated by different things, Mozzie. And, I know you're now an NFL player. Let that sink in a minute. But coming from the NIL world of college football, you could probably work that into an endorsement deal with Pop-Tarts at this point, but also with your name. With your name, Moz. Have you found the Maserati dealership there in Dallas yet to try to get an NIL deal with those guys?
We're going to start working. I hired a pretty good agency. We're going to put them boys to work here soon.
All right, I got to ask you this too, Mozzie. I know you've been talking about. You're a big In-N-Out guy, right? Did I hear that right?
Nah, I heard I had In-N-Out one time in Arizona.
Okay.
One time in Arizona. I got to try Whataburger.
Yeah, we got a big rivalry here in Texas between In-N-Out and Whataburger. So you gotta try a Whataburger.
Yeah, I'll just tell you what, I don't know how impressive that In-N-Out burger what really was. People was lined up around the corner for that. And I was like, when I got it, I was like, lined up around the corner for this.
You're winning Cowboy fans over already, man. But I got to ask. I mean, 6'3", 320. What is your Whataburger order going to be?
Well, I had to stop. I had to stop ordering two of everything. Because I'm just trying to stay I'm 330 right now, but I'm just trying to maintain that. You know what I'm saying? So, 2 burgers and 2 fries ain't good no more. So we just gotta lock in.
Here's the beautiful thing, Mozzie, and I would never lie to you, my friend, even though we just met. That double bacon cheeseburger at Whataburger, it won't add any calories to your diet. Just only do it like once and don't tell the coach.
All right, I got you. All right, it's our little secret.
Yeah, that's us, man. Mozzie, congratulations. Enjoy the whirlwind. Can't wait to meet you in person out in Oxnard. By the way, training camp in Oxnard is fantastic. You're going to enjoy that far better than what you've experienced to this point, man. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, man. Congratulations.
For sure, man. I appreciate it.
Mozzie Smith on the Blitz on Friday, and the hits don't stop coming for the Blitz. Tomorrow, they're actually going to be joined by Cowboys VP of Player Personnel, Will McClay. And if you're listening today, later on the Blitz, be tuned in because we start giving away Aerosmith tickets this week as they get ready to come to San Antonio. You got a chance to win tickets to their November 1st concert at the AT&T Center. It is their farewell tour with special guests, the Black Crowes. If you don't win, tickets are also available at livenation.com. But coming up next here on Jimenez and Spence, we look at the NBA playoffs as we are now fully into the second round. And are these upsets? Is this a good thing? Or is it because of a ongoing thread throughout the NBA playoffs so far to this point? We'll discuss next on Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Viva La Brawl! Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. R&R in the Morning have your tickets to see San Antonio's own Castaneda brothers, along with the Navarez versus Heinen fight, Destiny Jones versus Brittany Ordonez, and more. Listen to R&R in the Morning at 7:05, 8:05, and 9:05 for your chance to win. Just listen for the fight bell, and you could be on your way to Viva La Brawl. Plus, one lucky winner will get the ultimate upgrade to VIP ringside seats, along with plenty of swag. Presented by Davies Arena and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Buy tickets at daviesentertainment.com.
The XFL playoffs are here, and the league goes from 8 teams to 2. In a league of dreams and opportunities, there's only one chance to be a champion. The road to the 2023 XFL Championship ends in San Antonio. The best of the North versus the best of the South. Who will emerge the winner? The 2023 XFL Championship game, Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. XFL history will be made. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $25. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Looking for a protein-packed snack to power you through the day? Of course you are. Only Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have the bold flavors you crave. Spicy dill, Korean kimchi, pasilla chili cheese, and more. Take your snacking to a whole new level with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. And keto fans, you're going to love this low-carb crunch. Get yours at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds. Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Before you fire up that grill, make sure you get into Tri-County Meat Market. Hi, Jason Minix here. Tri-County Meat Market has everything you need. If you're thinking steaks, you want some chicken, some poppers, beef ribs, pork ribs, brisket, picanha, tri-tip. They've got it all at Tri-County Meat Market. Take advantage of their Pick 5 for $25, and Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Heebner, or online at tricountymeat.com. Gold. If you've been thinking of how to secure the value of your assets and grow your wealth, think gold. Think Noble Gold. Hi, Jason Minix here for NobleGoldInvestments.com. After the latest bank failures and other economic news that could devalue the dollar, gold is a safe investment to secure your wealth. And if you're not sure what to do, that's not a problem. Go to NobleGoldInvestments.com. They'll walk you through everything. They will email you their gold and silver investors guide. Do this. Go look at the price of gold in 1970 up until today. It was about $35 an ounce, and the long-term trend will blow you away. A lot of folks wish they would have bought back then in an IRA or even physical gold. Don't wish you did this down the road. Take the time to go to the website today. Go to NobleGoldInvestments.com. You're welcome to use promo code STAR for a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin they're offering people that qualify. NobleGoldInvestments.com. Mark it down to do today. NobleGoldInvestments.com.
For over 17 years, the award-winning legal team at George Salinas Injury Lawyers has been representing personal injury victims all across Texas. Have you been injured in an accident? George Salinas is ready to represent you with free consultations, 24/7 availability, and no attorney fees unless we win. George Salinas Injury Lawyers will help you get the results you need so you can focus on recovery. If you've been injured, one call could change your entire case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers, 210-225-0909, or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
When you're drinking a frozen beverage from McDonald's, your brain may not like how refreshingly cold it is, but the rest of your body, oh yes, it's gonna relish every moment of it, because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
There's no better way to cool down than with this cool deal. Get Coke, frozen Dr. Pepper or frozen Fanta for just $1.79. Prices at participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is Rudy J, and you're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Oh, man. This is one of those themes just kind of get you going. Like every time I hear the NBA on NBC, it's one of those theme songs that just kind of makes you feel...
Gets you up out of your chair, doesn't
it? It does. I miss it. I miss the NBA on NBC a little bit.
I miss the theme, that's for sure. You know who runs it now on occasion is TNT.
TNT does, yes. But I kind of miss the whole NBC vibe, Marv Albert. Like you just felt big playoff games when you heard that.
I don't miss Marv very much outside of going downtown in more ways than one. But, I digress.
Look, this has been a fun postseason because of the upsets. Because we've got a 6-7 now with the Warriors and Lakers. We've got an 8 seed versus 4 seed with the Knicks and Heat. Like there's just been so much kind of unstableness in the bottom of the playoffs to this point.
Okay, so let's get into it. Do you think this is a good representation of the NBA when it's all said and done? You cannot dispute what I'm about ready to say.
Okay.
That players are not playing for the regular season. They're saving themselves for the playoffs because that's the only thing that matters.
I've always believed that.
All right. So if that's the case, why are we playing 82 games? I mean, just put put the teams we know.
Because money's spent.
I know that, but the integrity of the game. Okay, anyone who thought, because Jimenez and I talked about this when the Warriors won in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
We both said it's over because the Warriors are going to come to play, and it was almost inevitable that the Warriors were going to advance. When the Lakers won in Memphis, it was over at that point. Okay. You can sit there and say, well, I think my off-court exploits hurt the team. No, the team is the team. Okay. They play for the regular season. The Lakers played for the playoffs.
Yeah, and the Warriors did
too.
too.
Another one with Jimmy, okay? Jimmy Butler.
Look,
it's the same thing.
Night, it was amazing watching Steph go for 50, yelling "Light the beam" at the Kings as he's wrapping things up down there.
He stuck it to him.
He definitely did. And Steve Kerr says that we take Steph Curry for granted.
He doesn't surprise me. We all take him for granted because he's brilliant night after night, and we've been watching this for 10 years. And we just, you just have to remind yourself every once in a while, big picture. This is one of the great players in the history of the game. But that's how I felt, back when in my playing days, with Michael Jordan. You'd see it night after night, so you just took it for granted. So that's how it is with Steph. It's over and over and over again. And the resilience and the work that goes into that, and the focus, it's incredible to watch.
You would not be surprised then if the Warriors go to the NBA Finals.
I've actually I've called that they would be in the Western Conference Finals. It'd be them and the Suns before the playoffs started, because I believe this team does know where the switch is and they can flip it when they need to because of the experience that they have. So I wasn't concerned with them being a 6th seed. I wasn't concerned with anything else other than health, because they've dealt with so much injuries throughout the year.
But it just, I'm a purist. If I haven't said that before, let me just say it right now. But them at a 6th seed, okay?
Mm-hmm. They dealt with injuries all year, though. Like, they're 6-1 because they were resting players. They legitimately have players hurt all year.
Call it what you want, okay? But they're not a 6th seed team.
No.
If anyone thought they were, and then, hey, they can't win on the road, okay? All these different things. When it's all said and done, it's the same with the Lakers. They looked tired the other day, but then they put 40 on freaking, the Grizz, okay? It's like, it's not the game that I grew up with, and I'm sorry, it just disappoints me sometimes when I see players, I don't care who they are, they're going for the glitz and the glory of the playoffs and be damned with the regular season.
When Steve Kerr brought up Michael Jordan and said, unappreciated in his time, I don't underappreciate Steph, because
how can you? I
regret the grudge that I had against Michael Jordan growing up as a kid. I didn't like him. He was just really, really good, and I wanted other people to win.
Yeah. If you're not from Chicago, I get it. Yeah.
He was still one of the greatest players of all time. I recognize that, but I also understood seeing greatness like that doesn't come around a lot. So appreciate it while it's there. That's why I always loved Tom Brady. I enjoy watching LeBron James now. Like, these are just things that, older me learned from a younger me, and not appreciating Michael Jordan's greatness while it was going on and seeing it in retrospect. And Steph Curry is that. Right now, he is a guy that when you get him out on the floor, he can win a game on his own.
So let's talk about that. What series now is the prime series to watch?
Right now?
Right now. But it's so-called second round.
Well, in the so-called second round, I have 2 series that are must watch. Both of them are in the Western Conference because injuries are playing a part in the East. And injuries have been the thread throughout this entire playoff.
But it sounds like an excuse to me.
Is it an excuse or is it a reality? This is a game that is driven on stars.
So if
and we've had a bunch of stars miss games.
Okay, but if Jimmy Butler rolled his ankle, why didn't he come out? He played decoy. He played decoy. He played through it. So how bad really is it? We'll find out Tuesday night.
We'll find out Tuesday night exactly how bad it is.
But I think
But Joel Embiid's not doubtful for game 1 against the Celtics. That would have been the other series I would have been really excited about. So that leaves me with the 2 series that are going on. You've got the Nuggets and the Suns, and the Nuggets being the 1 seed that nobody believes in versus the Suns that are the team of destiny. Still, even with a 1-0 lead.
Right.
And then how can you not love LeBron versus Steph part 4?
Dude, if that isn't must watch in every second of the word, I don't know what is.
Look, I've been holding my tongue for over an hour.
Wow. That must have been interesting.
It's not easy for me, but I want to get into the Texans draft.
We can't wait till 3:05 when the blitz is on.
They're gonna do that same thing to me at 7:05.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm gonna get a little bit in at the top of the hour here, right after the Sports Center update.
This is Jimenez and Spence. Jimenez and Spence. KTFM Floresville. And always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Despite taking Deuce Vaughn in the 6th round, the Cowboys are still leaving that door open for Zeke Elliott, according to owner Jerry Jones, who hinted that the team could re-sign Elliott, saying, quote, "The ship hasn't sailed there." Houston Texans wide receiver John Metsu made his return to the football field last week as he was present for the start of on-field workouts as he is on a comeback from missing all of last season with leukemia. More of Jimenez and Spence rolls on next.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Jimenez and Spence right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger, not Michael Jimenez, who was on a boat somewhere in the, Tampa Bays?
Well, Tampa Bay area, and, which really...
Channels? Bays? What are they?
It's the intercoastal. So what's really interesting, though, about it, if you heard him earlier, he's talking about putting sardines, and you get a little queasy on the sardines. I mean, give me a break. If you're going to fish on a boat, and they are fishing, then bring the proper bait, and don't get queasy when all of a sudden your hands start to digress. All right, so let's open up the can of worms. Let's talk about what's important to you and only you, the Houston Texans.
Well, it's not just me because the Texans have been irrelevant for about 3-4 years now. So it's been quite the shock to wake up every morning and see them kind of leading everything when it comes to news cycles with what they did over the draft weekend. And that's good and bad. There's positives and negatives to both sides of this. But you talked about it. They stole night 1 from it's them and the Eagles that were the talk of night 1 of the NFL draft.
Correct.
And they go out, they get what they believe is their franchise quarterback and CJ Stroud. I believe that as well. And then they go out and get what is considered one of, if not the best defensive project in this draft in Will Anderson. A lot of people are lauding them for their aggressiveness and what they did. As a matter of fact, they had 9 picks. They traded up 8 times. The only person they didn't trade up to get was CJ Stroud. So they placed value and went and attacked what they perceived to be players that they had circled on their draft board. I applaud Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans for doing that.
You should. Every second of this draft, and I've seen, anything from B+, A-. Yeah, what do you expect them to do in the stature of where the Texans are right now? Irrelevant before the draft. Now they are absolutely relevant, and then some. To the point of they have a very easy schedule. Okay,
4th place schedule.
They could be 8-8, and they would be throwing a parade down Main Street, Houston, Texas. And rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
They could be even in the playoffs this year based on their schedule alone.
Based on their schedule and what they've done, because people look at the draft and it's not just what they did in the draft, it's what they did in free agency. Not only do you add a potential quarterback that could be a rookie of the year in CJ Stroud, you add a potential defender that could be a defensive rookie of the year. As a matter of fact, he's the odds-on favorite. Him and Jalen Carter tied for the best odds in Vegas to win that award right now. But you had Tank Dell in the third, an explosive playmaker out of Houston. You keep him in Houston. Juice Scruggs, a center, which was a big position of need. And then in free agency, they get a tight end in Dalton Schultz. They trade for a left guard in Shaq Mason. That offensive line is set from end to end now. You go and get a Sheldon Rankins, who is a really good defensive tackle in free agency. They added pieces where they needed pieces and supplemented, and then in the draft attacked what they really needed. And I think that makes what this season could be very special. And a lot of people like to criticize, well, the Texans gave up too much to go up for Will Anderson.
Oh, not at all.
If you think he's that dude,
stop.
If you think he's that dude,
those people that say I don't know anything about the draft, I mean, they don't. It's to your point. Go up and get who you think you need to get to move this franchise forward.
And if he is the defensive rookie of the year, like Vegas is projecting, and you get 10, 15 sacks out of him this upcoming season, and he has a Micah Parsons type impact on that defense for DeMeco Ryans, then it was worth it, because you've probably won somewhere between 7 and 9 games if that's the case, and CJ Stroud pans out as the possible quarterback of the future. And if that happens, your own pick that you gave up isn't a top 2 pick like a lot of people are projecting. It is probably closer to a mid to late round pick, which at that point you gave up a first rounder and a second rounder and a third rounder for this guy.
So where do you come in the conversation about need versus best available as a whole in general?
I think it's a combination of the two. Like, I don't believe anything is ever black and white. I always like to think things are gray. Like, there's a gray area in between the two hard field sides where things kind of lay. And I think need and best available kind of marry each other. I think in terms of a draft board, you have you have a group of players that probably all have around the same grade. And you're taking the best available player. And if there's a player that fits a need that you really have that is in that group of players, that's obviously the way you go.
I could not agree more, which leads me to the next question. Not to get off the Texans bandwagon here, because I think they have a bandwagon that's going to continue to roll down the road here. But you bring up a very good point regarding the Cowboys. Okay. Indirectly, the aggressiveness of the Texans, to an extent, the aggressiveness of the Eagles, to an extent, aggressiveness in general. Who's going to be the starting guard for the Dallas Cowboys? How aggressive do we need to get when there's offensive guards waiting to be had? People have jumped in front of you to get offensive linemen.
O'Cyrus Torrance was one of the guys that were kind of circled for the Cowboys, the guard out of Florida, who they let pass by in the first round, had a chance to probably move up and get him in the second, but they didn't.
So when it comes to aggressiveness,
Cody Mock, another one.
Aggressiveness is the difference between success and mediocrity.
Howie Roseman does a very good job at being not just aggressive, but knowing how to manipulate the board in terms of, I have a group of players here. I either need to move up to get this guy because he's one of the last available of the guys that I like, or slide back down and acquire more picks for future purposes to be able to do the same thing if I need to move back up later. I think Howie Roseman does a really good job of that. And so far through 3 drafts with Nick Caserio, that is a man who is not afraid to go up or down when it comes to the NFL draft. I was looking on our YouTube live feed, of course, you can watch the show live on our YouTube channel. Search San Antonio Sports Star, subscribe. The Drew Show says, is there a quarterback mentoring offensive coordinator or coach on the Texans staff? Yes, there are a couple of them. Bobby Slowick is your offensive coordinator out of the San Francisco tree. And then there is another former quarterback from Texas A&M. His name is Gerard Johnson, who does a lot of work with quarterbacks around the league. He actually worked with CJ Stroud at Elite 11 camps. He is the quarterback's coach for the Houston Texans. So they have people in place. And of course, they went out and signed Case Keenum in free agency, who has been in this Shanahan style system before in a couple of different spots, including Houston and Denver before. So he knows this system well and can help teach it to a younger quarterback. Of course, you can always call in on the Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines at 656-ESPN, 656-3776. Mario dialed him. Mario, what's happening? You want to talk Texans draft?
Hey, Pledge. Actually, three things. I know I told Edwin two. One is you were right about Jalen Carter going in the first round. The second was me being right about Robinson not making it past number 10. And the Houston, it was like they were playing Madden with the draft in a good way. They went and got the people they wanted from the picks that they had.
I agree with you. They did what they wanted to do. They moved up and down the board, up specifically in almost every instance. They got a receiver, a playmaker in Tank Dell out of Houston. They got their center in Juice Scruggs in the second round. In the fifth round, they move up. They get Alabama, a guy named Tuo. I was practicing this all week.
Yeah, exactly. Try and say that fast 3 times.
Henry Tuo, who is the middle linebacker for Alabama's defense, has a deep knit connection with D'Amico Ryans, who is tied with Alabama as well. So you're bringing not only Christian Harris from last year, Will Anderson from this year, Tuo from this year. Like, you're bringing a bunch of people. A lot of these guys were captains. Nick Caserio actually talked about why he kind of went after so many guys that were captains on their team.
I think it speaks to who they are and what their teammates think of them. So it's not the reason you draft them, John, but obviously they're put in that position for a reason. And I would say captainship, as we know, it's different wherever you go. So maybe being a captain sometimes turns into a popularity contest, but when you're a captain, it's about leadership, and leadership is about action. So, but I would say what their teammates think of them, what the coach of them, and just their overall presence and commitment. Now, they're not going to be captains when they walk in our building, but they're good teammates. They have the right mindset. They put the team first. So I wouldn't say that that's a sole criteria that we base the pick off of, but it's a part of the evaluation, just like a number of other factors are.
It's a great evaluation tool. I mean, leadership is everything.
And this is a team that you've broken down to the floor. So you're looking for guys to assume that leadership mantle.
You've zero-based this thing down to nothing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How and why you would not want leaders in every position to help take that next step. And the way they're going at the next step is not necessarily a baby step. Mm-hmm. This is a leap they've done. But let's circle back, because I think there's more room to converse about this. We can do it right after the break.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the aggressiveness of a difference maker for the Texans and how that can compare and contrast to where the Cowboys are.
And you get a difference maker with the Texans, where the Cowboys are. How does that parlay, especially when you see what another team in their own division, not only conference, has done? We'll discuss it next right here on Jimenez and Spence. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Michael Jimenez. That's Tim Spence. More to come right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, Phoenix. We break it all down for you.
Will McClay still has work to do. Where are the undrafted free agents landing? We'll give them all to you. The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Hebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Davies Entertainment, Viva La Brawl, coming to the Techport Arena May 5th, and we have your chance to win your way in. Join the Blitz live this Wednesday at Slackers North Star from 3 to 7. Meet and greet with Viva La Brawl fighters Brown Navarez, Brittany Ordonis, and Eddie Ortiz. Happy hour specials and your chance to win free tickets to Viva La Brawl on Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. It's this Wednesday at Slackers North Star with the Sports Star and Davies Entertainment crew, all starting at 3 o'clock.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, ESPNSA.com. I am James Pledger filling in for Michael Jimenez today, who is on a boat somewhere in the Tampa Bay channels. Tim Spence sitting along with me.
Yeah, dealing with sardines as a bait. I mean,
apparently he's getting a little squeamish.
Yeah, exactly. When you step up, take a mullet, cut off the head, and go catch some big fish. Okay.
All right. I want odds from you right now. Odds that Jimenez has caught something by the time we talk to him at 2:15.
No way.
Odds he comes in and tells us this grand story about what he caught on Monday after he hadn't caught anything at 2:15.
So when he comes in tomorrow, this will be the most embellished story in the history of, we went 30 miles out. Well, we went out and caught some grouper. Okay, first off, you have to go 30 miles out. We know you didn't go 30 miles out because your stomach wouldn't have been able to handle the waves. So come back with another story. I mean, it would just have been just absolutely embarrassing how crazy the story would have been. I would have shot it down.
And you knowing fishing as much as you do, I can't wait to have him called out on it as well.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. We put 2 sardines on the hook, and we thought maybe that could be, help us out a little bit.
There just wasn't enough, so I put a whole can on there.
Yeah, exactly, including the can. You take the can off? You don't put the whole thing on there?
Oh, man. If there's one thing I know, he's going to have one fantastic story about it tomorrow. Whether it's true or not, he's going to have one.
Exactly.
He is Tim Spence. I'm James Pledger. We were just talking about the Texans and the things that they did in the draft. The Dallas Cowboys, by most accounts, also had a very good draft. And I look at it and I like it. I do. There's no wow factor in their draft, and there doesn't have to be if some of these players pan out to be good or great NFL players. Like if Mozzie Smith is the run-stuffing defensive tackle he was at Michigan, it's a huge win for the team.
I'm good with Mozzie, okay? I could even go Overshown. Okay, I mean, I could go...
I like Demarion Overshown.
So do I. I mean, you could sit there and...
He's an athletic freak.
You could go at second round with Schoonmaker too at tight end. Okay, we went more defense, and then we went offensive tackle 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
Who is playing offensive guard for this offense is going to be a West Coast offense based on the run.
Well, I mean, I think we know, don't we? Or at least we have some idea of what it's going to be. I mean, we've heard different things from all of them, but they've all been consistent in the fact that their 5 best guys are getting on the field. So whether it's Tyler Smith playing next to Tyron Smith at left guard, or if it's the Smiths at the corners and bumping Terrence Steele inside.
Okay, and when Tyron is hurt, okay, at left tackle. Then what's the movement there?
Well, they told us they have a lot of faith in Matt Walesko, who they selected last year in the draft. And their movement in this draft tells me that they believe
They
that.
obviously believe everything that anyone else wants to know about their offensive guard position. They have that handled, according to them.
Mm-hmm. We questioned them last year, and they were right.
Why would they be right?
No, they were right in terms of we believe that Tyler Smith can not only come in and be a contributor at left guard, but that he has the versatility to play up and down the line, and that everything else is in place the way we need it to be.
You lost.
They were right.
You lost McGovern.
Yes.
You lost.
You lost an average guard.
Well, he went to Buffalo, made some pretty good money, so I don't
Sure.
know but how average he was. But we'll
Pro
go with
Football Focus ranks him as an average guard.
Okay.
Average interior
that.
offensive
So do you think we should get another guard to help at least fill his average position?
Do you overpay for that, knowing
but
what you had to do?
Forget the free agency. It's in the draft. The draft. There was top-heavy offensive guard, offensive lineman. You got an offensive tackle, okay, at the 5th round, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't play offensive guard. Their belief is in the background of who he is that they could possibly train him to play offensive guard. But he's not a true offensive guard. If you went defense to stop the run, and you know what? Hallelujah, they got a run stopper. And to the point of need, why wouldn't you at least find an offensive guard somewhere and show some aggressiveness when push comes to shove? I'm all about the Deuce Vaughn lovey-dovey, okay? But to what Jimenez said, 5 foot something, okay? I hope he's another Sproles.
Sure.
Okay? There's no guarantee. Why not play the need factor and really fill in the blank that needs to be had on that offensive line?
What if they think they filled that knee in free agency by going out and signing Chuma Edoga, formerly of the New York Jets, who was a mediocre interior offensive lineman?
Once again, they have obviously decided that they're fine at offensive guard. Okay. We'll see. We'll see what proof in the pudding really truly is.
And they've been right when it comes to their offensive line for the most part.
All the movement they did. Well, I beg to differ a little bit. Okay. I get here in November, and it is a Charlie Foxtrot. This guy's out. Let's move left to right, right to left. I mean, it is a movement of trying to find a mix that will work. Say yes,
they were a top 6 offensive line last year.
Top 6 offensive line or top 10 offense in general?
Well, they were both.
Based on November, December, or based on the season?
Based on the season.
Okay, right. My point is, it got a little crazy in November, December, based on players getting hurt, the load.
See, you're worried about offensive guard. I'm not as worried about that. I think the position that is of biggest concern is where the offensive line started to get all that shifting going on. It's when their center got hurt. When Tyler Biadasz went down, that line started to struggle at the end of the year, and they don't really have a viable option behind Tyler Biadasz.
Okay. That's even a better rationale reason to sit there and say, then why wouldn't you have a full-on backup to Biadasz that could possibly play another position besides center? I mean, honestly, these players are going to get hurt. What is the plan? Who is going to fill in the blanks when needed? The less pressure you put on Dax, the better it's going to be.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't suffer a lot of pressure last year.
Dude, he threw how many interceptions? That's pressure.
No, I'm aware of what he threw. It's not because he was under pressure.
You don't think pressure has something to do with him? The interceptions he threw. Oh, come on.
Not according to the statistics. And I watched the game. So I
watched the game.
A lot of those picks were just either off wide receivers' hands.
Not a lot of them. There was like 5 you could sit there and say, yes, okay, drop passes, deflections. Jacksonville comes to mind, okay? I get it. But You cannot tell me that this whole West Coast offense approach that they're trying to do is to put less pressure on Dak so he can go make a difference as a quarterback. Is that fair?
That's fair.
If that's the case, then I can't do enough to take the pressure off of his shoulders, not having to deliver when it's 3rd and 10. It's all on me, and before you know it, I throw an interception.
Well, we know Dak has a massive cap hit next year, and it's one of the last years of his deal. Is this more so all right, Dak, you're on the clock. We've given you everything we can give you for the most part. You've got your weapons. You got a bevy of tight ends now. Your offensive line is solidified outside of injury. Like, we need to see if your pay is worth the squeeze of the juice, because we need to build this roster out, and we can only do it a certain way by paying you as much as we're paying you.
I think the pressure now is more on him than ever. I think.
And it should be.
Right. You've just sold my point indirectly. The pressure should be on him, but instead of it being between his ears of I have to make a play, how about you let the offensive Mike McCarthy dictate the play and not have it be on your shoulders? So the less pressure I can get on Dak to have him be a quarterback of structure, see my progressions. When it says handoff, I'm handing off and not trying to pull something out of the weeds, out of my backside on line of scrimmage, calling an audible when there really is no audible to be called.
We spoke of injury. We saw what someone coming off an injury last year was like in Michael Gallup, and why we really didn't see the Michael Gallup that we expected to see through most of the year last year. Tony Pollard is making $10.1 million coming off of an injury. And they really did nothing to address what's going on behind Tony Pollard.
And to sit there and say,
I'm more worried about that than I am Tyler Biadasz suffering an injury.
So,
because if this is the West Coast and they're truly running the football like Mike McCarthy says, and I'm using air quotes as I say these things because Mike McCarthy always tells us about running the football, but his history tells me he's never been committed to running the football.
So what you're saying then is their commitment to Deuce Vaughn as a wide receiver is the answer for this.
It might be.
Because they drafted him in the 6th round.
A 6th rounder. Look, when people get taken that late, those are developmental guys that hopefully it's a lottery ticket you can scratch.
Right.
Like, I don't, I get a cutoff of about the 4th or 5th round of players that can contribute in day one.
I couldn't agree with you more. So what you're saying, but you're not saying it, get ready for Zeke to come back.
Get ready, because they keep leaving that door open.
Oh my gosh! I
and
cannot
there
believe
is
it.
nothing else there.
Cannot believe it.
Unless they truly believe in Malik Davis as much as they say.
If we go down this path, dude, because this is where it's heading.
It is.
This is where it's heading.
I mean,
it's going to be a long season.
Zeke Elliott, despite his low yards per attempt.
Oh, yeah, 10 touchdowns. Okay, inside the 2-yard line.
But it's not just inside, it's inside the 20. He's great. And if you use him the way he is meant to be used, it's not a bad thing.
Is there some Jerry in your blood?
No.
Oh,
because Jerry's going to give him his 17 touches or whatever and make sure he's equally split with Tony Pollard because Zeke's his guy. He's like Mike Jimenez. He's got guys.
I want me some glory hole.
But if you use him the way that he should be used, short yardage, blocking, and that's it, and not try and force the ball to him to appease his ego of needing touches. If he knows his role and you use him in that role, I think he's a viable back.
Why are the Cowboys the only team in the NFL that thinks he's viable? I mean, come on. Why? Because they're too joined at the hip.
Well, it's not just that they're too joined at the hip. I do believe that Zeke's perceived value, What he thinks he's worth and what teams think he's worth are two completely different things.
Well, then what are they going to get him on for, $1.50?
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him.
First of all, why would he do it? Second of all, why are you wasting the time and effort? Why are you wasting your time?
Because if I'm Jerry, this is how I'm selling it. Look, you wanted 15 anyway. Your 21's gone. You get to be 15 now. Will Greer doesn't need that number. And on top of that, you can make more, as you know, just by endorsements alone than you could in any other
number of
place.
touches.
Exactly.
And we waste
Touchdowns.
we waste all our time based on trying to make Zeke happy. When it's all said and done, why don't you be aggressive like the freaking Colts and go get a running back if that's really what you want?
Maybe they didn't like any of the running backs in this draft outside of
they
Bijan.
like Zeke? Zeke's the answer? Oh, M freaking G.
Zeke's the answer, not as the guy.
But what has changed from between now and before?
I'm not giving him 20 touches. That's what's changed.
You're giving him 10. That's 10 plays that you're hoping, hope that he can make a difference.
Look, on 3rd and 2, I trust him.
Okay, 3rd and 2 for the 2. Yeah, I would. You and I could both probably take the ball, stick it over the line, and call it a touchdown. I mean, come on.
I don't denigrate what his value is versus what it's not. I know what he can't do, and this is what Bill Belichick does so great for defensive players. He knows what guys can do and can't do, and he doesn't put them in situations to try and do what they can't, only to do what they do well.
Let me leave you with this. I don't know for sure, but I would find it hard to believe that Bill picked up a phone and said, "Hey, Zeke, you ever think about coming to New England?" That phone call probably, pretty sure, never happened.
Oh, man, the NBA is in full swing. We'll get you more of it coming up in our Sports Center update. But what factors in these playoffs are leading it to all these upsets? Spence and I discuss next right here on Jimenez and Spence on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
48 hours later, Zeke's coming back. Oh my gosh.
He's back, baby.
I hope not. We'll see. Who won the draft? Not the Cowboys if Zeke's coming back, but I digress. The Eagles, Texans, they won it. Here's some playoff shockers. Bruins, Avs, Grizzlies, Bucks, Kings, gone. Playoffs continue tomorrow night right here, Tuesday, 6 o'clock, ESPN 1250.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control rental and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
We all have that friend who wakes up early to go get everyone McDonald's breakfast while the rest of us sleep in. This is your sign to thank them. And if you're that friend, this is us saying thank you.
Having McDonald's breakfast is delicious. Having someone else get you McDonald's breakfast is delicious-er. Right now, get a baked breakfast with hotcakes for just $4.99, only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates, it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Welcome to What If, the show where I, Jake from State Farm, answer your insurance what ifs. We've got a call from Millie. What's up?
Hi, Jake. What if, hypothetically, a moose gets mad at my car and rams into my windshield? Hypothetically.
Oh, just file a claim on the app. At State Farm, we're there for your what ifs.
Great, but what if the moose eats my phone? Hypothetically.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
All guests appearing on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star appear on the Buyers Barricades guest line. Buyers Barricades provides traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond. Online at buyersbarricades.com. It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, ESPNSA.com. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Mike Jimenez, joined along by Tim Spence.
I'm still trying to digest. Zeke could be coming back.
Okay. What have we heard all off season from all 3 mouthpieces of the Cowboys?
And they even said it in their post-draft news conference.
Trust me, they want him back. They're seeing he's not getting the love that he wants. They're on home. We'll take care of you. You can still help us win football games.
OMG, man.
The writing's on the wall.
The writing certainly is on the wall. I'm a part of me has seen it. I've heard it.
You don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe it. And you're stuck it right in my face. And now there's nothing I can do except say, you're right. If it doesn't happen, now we'll be shocked.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion.
Because everything they've told me all off season, it's a lot like at the beginning of the off season before the lying started, when I kept hearing we like 2 quarterbacks, we like 2 quarterbacks, we like 2 quarterbacks. And the closer we got to the draft, it was like, I don't know, we really like an edge rusher. Like they were throwing it. The Cowboys have been consistent throughout. We like Zeke. We want him back. We like Zeke. We want him back. We're leaving the door open. We haven't closed the chapter on that. The book's not done.
But every time they would say that before the draft, you'd say, what else do you expect him to say? Okay. And yes, I guess the door is still partially open.
I don't know. It feels a little bit more open than I thought it was.
The barn door is open. The horses haven't left the barn, but they're saying, come on in, because it's a party in here, Zeke.
Look, we got strobe lights.
Yeah, it's a party.
DJ's playing.
Yeah, nothing's changed. It's like old times. You know, this could do. Okay, so what happens?
Jack's got a birthday cake for you.
Right. So Zeke comes back, okay, and everyone's high fiving.
And if we want to make Jack comfortable and happy, doesn't that make him happy?
Yes, it will. Okay, so then what happens when he goes off and has one of those wild, 15 touches and 75 yards. Zeke's back.
Zeke's back, baby.
He's back. And now he's going to be a regular installment. Put down the crack pipe. Put down the pipe. Okay. It's over.
Only
We just haven't.
you.
Anyone with a rational mind, they said he was over when they got rid of him, when they released him.
Look, I need a guy that can pick up blitz protections, which we don't have right now. And I need a guy that can give me a 3rd and 2.
Okay, blitz protections. One thing we know he can't play is center, okay?
I think
he was run over by blitzes.
I think that play went with Kellen Moore to Los Angeles.
I mean, he is not going to block for blitz. He's going to give him the old, what's the ole? That's right. Ole.
Paul Cantu on our YouTube live says, y'all quit hyping up those delusional Cowboy fans like himself.
Oh my gosh.
All right. If we're not going to hype up the delusional Cowboy fans, how about we take a look at the hype surrounding this NBA playoffs? Because we've got upsets, lower seeds going all the way, baby.
And we're now in the next level of, oh my gosh.
We got
the
an
Warriors are
playing.
Warriors are going to be playing the Lakers. That in itself, even though they're both on the same Western side, that is an NBA Finals type head-to-head match.
Oh, when it comes to headline matchups, that's it. You got AD, you got Steph, you got LeBron, you got Draymond, you got Clay.
That's better, even though the Suns and Nuggets is really good.
It's really good.
Nothing compares to that game, though, that matchup.
The one thing you didn't take into account when the Suns and Nuggets went, man, how many times did we talk about it at the end of the year, how DeAndre Ayton was just gone. He was gone from Phoenix. They were going to do a sign and trade. Something was going to happen, and DeAndre Ayton was going to leave because it was untenable between him and Monty Williams, right? Did you see that clip where Jokic got like 15 straight rebounds and DeAndre Ayton's just sitting on the baseline out of bounds watching, just checked out watching the putbacks?
Here's the challenge with the Nuggets. The Nuggets are a good team.
They're a great team.
They're not a great team because they're not good all the time. They will really rally as 5 and 6 players, okay? But then there's the times, if they're not shooting, hold on tight.
But how many times in the playoffs have we actually seen a fully functioning Nuggets team? And I mean with Michael Porter Jr., with Aaron Gordon, with Jokic, and with Jamal Murray especially, all healthy.
There's some truth to that.
I think they're different when they're healthy, and their health this postseason is pristine. And if it stays like that, I think that's one of the teams we severely underrated.
I think they've been totally underrated because it's all about, the superstars. I mean, at one point we didn't even think the Lakers were going to make the playoffs, and here they are in the second round. So more and more, you watch ESPN. Who are they talking about? Warriors, Lakers, Knicks.
Who else should they be talking about?
Well, yeah, but they're talking about the Knicks, who just got embarrassed by the Heat. Okay. And they limped into the second round, and yeah, they're the underdog and everything, but it's the Knicks and it's New York. Okay. What about the Celtics? 76ers.
You mean the reigning Eastern Conference champion?
Yes. Yeah. It's all about talking about those teams and those players that are the superstars, because that's what everyone wants to rally around. And they're not rallying around the Nuggets. And the only reason they're rallying around the Suns is because of Kevin Durant. Are they really going to rally around the Suns if Kevin wasn't there?
If Kevin wasn't there, I don't think the Suns are in as high demand. Because the superstar, having Durant along with Paul and especially Booker. It is the KD Devin Booker combo that really make you gravitate towards the Suns because two of the biggest stars in the league.
So it makes for a good series. But if you lose at home, it's just like the Kings all over again. If you lose at home, you're almost have ruined. I mean, you are not going to win the series if you lose at home.
And to be fair, the Nuggets have only defended home court so far. Right?
Correct.
Doesn't start until the home team loses, right?
I don't see the Suns losing at home, though.
I don't see the Suns losing at home either. But do I see them winning on the road? Because there is something to the playing in Denver ain't like playing everywhere else.
No, it isn't. Let's go to the Warriors and Lakers. Do you see the Warriors losing at home?
I don't see the Warriors losing this series. No, I think they win it in like 5 or 6.
I see the same thing of 5 or 6, and I see the Lakers at one point just coming out gangbusters. Okay,
sure.
And then by midway, you're going to see them get tired.
Unsustainable.
Yep. Yeah. Totally.
And the thing with the Lakers is, I don't think they have the offensive capability to keep up with Golden State.
No, they have too many weapons. Warriors do.
Can Philadelphia keep this series close if Joel Embiid doesn't play?
I don't think so. He is the centerpiece of that team.
He's the MVP, right?
Well, depends on who you talk to. And you're talking to a former Denver resident.
I've been an advocate of Jokic winning his 3rd in a row.
I don't think he wins his 3rd.
I don't think he does either.
Just because it's hard enough to do 2 in a row. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, I think there's probably some people that think no one deserves 3.
It's the same thing as the Michael Jordan didn't do it. Why should we give this to you?
Exactly.
It's like if Babe Ruth didn't get into the Hall of Fame unanimously, we can't let anyone in unanimously. Like, really?
Right. Exactly.
Is that our barometer now?
That is
just because y'all screwed up back then, we have to screw it up now.
Yeah, because some righteous, vote taker or vote person is just trying to make a statement. I mean, there was a most recent induction to the Hall of Fame. Was it the Yankees, the captain? He got
Derek Jeter.
Yeah. Didn't Jeter get unanimous except for 1 vote?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how does that even happen? Because someone wants to make a name for himself.
It's not they don't want to make a name for himself. I think they all got together and they planned on who was going to be the one that wasn't good. I don't think, because most people, you look at it and are like, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Write him in. First ballot. Doesn't matter. Like, there are certain guys, when they're done playing, you don't have to have a thought about it.
Correct.
Tom Brady's going to be one of those guys.
But someone's going to say no. That is.
And it's not somebody out of spite. It's out of planning. Because you can't have whole bunch of guys saying no.
It's still out of spite. When something like that, you might hate Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And I have mixed emotions on Tom Brady. Played for the Buccaneers, won a Super Bowl. Great. But before that, in Denver, despised him. Okay. For all the obvious reasons. But is he a first-time, 100%, no question asked, inductee into the Hall of Fame? Correct.
He's moonwalking in.
But somebody will call it, and someone will say second ballot. And it's just like, are you nuts?
That is one of the things about the voting process that I hate the most. He is Tim Spence. I'm James Pledger. Coming up next, have you ever been unimpressed by a concert you were really excited to see? Something happened while I was at the draft this weekend, and I was very disappointed, and I don't think I'm going to see this band again, even if I have the chance.
Wow, there's a tease.
He is Tim Spence. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Mike Jimenez. This is Jimenez Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Viva La Brawl! Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. R&R in the Morning have your tickets to see San Antonio's own Castaneda brothers, along with the Navarez versus Heinen fight, Destiny Jones versus Brittany Ordonez, and more. Listen to R&R in the Morning at 7:05, 8:05, and 9:05 for your chance to win. Just listen for the fight bell, and you could be on your way to Viva La Brawl. Plus, one lucky winner will get the ultimate upgrade to VIP ringside seats, along with plenty of swag. Presented by Davies Arena and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Buy tickets at daviesentertainment.com.
The XFL playoffs are here, and the league goes from 8 teams to 2. In a league of dreams and opportunities, there's only one chance to be a champion. The road to the 2023 XFL Championship ends in San Antonio. The best of the North versus the best of the South. Who will emerge the winner? The 2023 XFL Championship game, Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. XFL history will be made. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $25. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's San Antonio area attorneys. Offices in San Antonio, Austin, and St. Louis. CordellCordell.com.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com.
San Antonio Professional Boxing is on another level. Mark your calendars. May 5th, Cinco de Mayo for Davies Entertainment. Viva La Brawl at the Techport Arena. San Antonio boxing like you've never seen it before. Buy tickets now at daviesentertainment.com. See you at the Brawl.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. It's back! The Superhero Comic Con Car Show presented by Thomas J. Henry, July 7th through the 9th in San Antonio at the Freeman Expo Halls. Meet stars like Captain Marvel's Brie Larson, Game of Thrones star Kit Harington, Hawkeye's Haley Steinfeld, and many more celebrities. See comic book artists, enjoy daily concerts, experience the Hollywood Car Show, pop culture vendors, and much more. Tickets on sale now at pmxevents.com.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Let it wash over you. Just
why is that?
Because I want to enjoy it, and apparently I can only enjoy it on CD now or streaming album. I was at the draft and they had this concert series while we were there. Got to see Fall Out Boy on Friday night. It was awesome. Thought it was a really good show. Sounded great. Although, unfortunately, lead singer looked wholly unimpressed being there, despite playing in front of over, 100,000 people.
100,000 people. Yep. Exactly.
Night 2 treated Motley Crue. One of my favorite 80s hair metal bands. Just a good time, and I was locked in. These 2 shows, I marked them down after a night of just anxious tension Just kind of let it out during the
Let it
concert.
loose. Let it loose, baby. In the words of Mike Jimenez. Baby.
Vince Neil was horrible.
When do you call a career
After that.
a career?
After whatever that was, that's when you call it a career.
I mean, who can't get into at even at this juncture, girls. Okay. I mean,
apparently Vince Neil.
Apparently Vince Neil. So
not only did he look awful, he sounded awful.
Putting on more weight again?
Yeah. He's getting a little plump. Look like an Oompa Loompa running around on stage.
Too bad. So rank your concerts. 1 to 10. That was a 0.
That was a 0.
Wow, that is bad.
I wish it was better. It wasn't. And I know that even if Vince was bad, normally they can put on a show with theatrics and Tommy Lee and the drums kit going upside down. Like they have a whole thing that they can do.
Mm-hmm.
But because of the draft setup, they didn't really have that. It was just kind of a concert.
Mm-hmm.
So God bless them for trying, but maybe it's time to hang it up. I'm a huge Willie Nelson fan. Grew up listening to him as a kid. In his later years, it's getting harder and harder to listen to him live.
Dude, he's 90.
I'm aware.
Okay. So let's cut him a little slack. Okay?
No. And
okay.
This last one at Whitewater a few weeks ago was actually really good. I've seen him before, and he's just kind of hurrying through things. He doesn't have the pace, the melody anymore.
Yeah, he's just mumbling his way through it anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So those are rough because they're legends. I've seen different Pat Green and Jack Ingram shows where you can get really good or really bad. Same thing happened with Stone Temple Pilots. Scott Weiland, I've seen one of the best concerts of my life and one of the worst concerts of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Same dude, 2 different shows, 2 completely different concerts. Blink-182 was really good when I got to see him both times. Green Day is a great show. I've enjoyed that one.
What's the craziest, funniest one you'll never forget? And it wasn't necessarily the music played, but just the environment.
There are a couple. I went to, back in the 90s, I went to Family Values Fest. Limp Bizkit, Korn, Power Man 5000, and Papa Roach. That was a wild show, and I was down in GA, basically on the gate in front of the stage.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild for me. Rammstein, I knew one song, I knew one word, 2 words, I guess, Du hast mesh. So 3 words, 1 song, 3 words. That's it. Understood none of them and what they meant. One of the greatest shows I've ever seen. That was a spectacle on top of a spectacle. Pyrotechnics, like all of it. It was incredible.
What's your best concert that you missed? If you think about that, there was Rolling Stones come flying through. They're at Orlando, and it was Miss You tour. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I could get tickets.
What year was this for the Stones?
Probably late 80s.
Oh, okay, so this would have been prime Stones.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, do I really? I mean, I could get tickets. So it's like, nah, it's Orlando. I don't want to drive to Orlando. Van Halen opened up for him.
Oh!
I have regretted that decision.
Knowing how you feel about Eddie Van Halen.
For the rest of my freaking life. And this was, this wasn't Sammy. This wasn't early, but it was pretty early in the Van Halen world. And, it's one of those things where you go, what the hell was I thinking? So when you have these opportunities, seize them, do it. Do you have that one you missed?
I don't have the one I missed, but one favorite game that I love to play with everyone is any concert, anytime, anywhere. What would you choose? You can go back in time, You can go forward in time. You can catch Woodstock, the original Woodstock lineup. Like, if there was a point in time in a concert series in time that you could find.
I'll give you the one I wouldn't want to be, but I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Altamont.
Okay.
Someone died there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the fact that you had the Hells Angels as security for the Rolling Stones, that's something I just have to see because it would have been absolutely off the chain.
Mine, and it's been consistent for over a decade now. If I could have ever found my way in to watch Nirvana play live and unplugged in New York for that MTV special, I would have moved heaven and earth for that at the time. And it was one of Kurt Cobain's final performances. He's Tim Spence. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Mike Jimenez. But don't worry, Jimenez, despite being on vacation on a boat, he can't get enough of us. He's going to join us at 2:15. Well, when we come up next, the draft. It was incredible. Who are the winners? Who are the losers? How did the Cowboys do? And traveling gets a little harder if you try and do it the same way you did it as a kid. I'll explain when we come back right here on Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM, Floresville, and always at ESPNSA.com. San Antonio's Sports Center.
The Heat upset the Knicks in New York, but Jimmy Butler suffered an ankle sprain late in round 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs, while the Warriors are headed to the second round after knocking off the Kings at home as Steph Curry went for 50, yelling, "Light the beam." Up next, it's the Lakers, and the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones continues to hold that door open for Zeke, saying the ship hasn't sailed there. More Jimenez and Spence coming up next.
Mike Jimenez.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Tim Spence.
Victory! Cowboys win!
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You want the door to be open.
I do. I want it to be wide open for as long as possible. I want the reunion because
you're
you're
a Texas fan. That's why.
No, because what business are we in?
I thought we were in the business to play successful winning football.
No, we're in a content-driven business, and there is no better content than Zeke back on the Cowboys for another year. He's going to leave the door open, baby.
Just back in the saddle, baby.
Look, there is nothing better. You roll it out there. It's 2nd and 3. Tony Pollard comes out of the game. In trots number 15 with his new wide selling jersey across the NFL. Cowboy fans punching it in, diving into the kettle. It's Zeke Elliott.
It's like old.
Feed me, baby.
It's like old times. It's old times. I mean, who could not want to see that and then end up being 8-8 on the season? I mean, I just, how could you not wrap your arms around something like that?
You see, I don't see him as 8-8 just for bringing Zeke back. I still think this is a great team, and I think Zeke adds something to this team.
Okay, give me 2 things that Zeke adds to this team today. Okay, 1. Give me 1 thing.
I can give you 3 things.
Okay.
Leadership.
Why do they need? Hang on. Why do they need leadership? There's enough leaders on this team already. You don't need leadership from a guy that can't start. You're taking up a roster position. Go ahead, number 2.
Number 2, short yardage.
From the 3-yard line, he might get 10 touchdowns again. Great. You and I and my weak sister could stick the ball over the goal line and get 15 touchdowns. So what's your third one?
Well, I say short yardage because I've seen Tony Pollard get stuffed where I do not see Zeke Elliott. Tony Pollard is a long-range guy. He can find the hole, but when there's no hole, he can't make a hole. Zeke can make a hole.
It gets filled up pretty quick.
It gets filled up quick, but he's not going to lose yardage in those situations.
Oh,
He's
no.
always falling for it.
So in other words, we now have telegraphed to everybody, hey, listen, it's on the 2-yard line, it's on 3-yard. We're giving it to Zeke. He's coming back because that's what he's here for. And we're gonna get 10 touchdowns out of him at the 3-yard line. Great. That is a wonderful position to have on this team. 1 of 53. Now let's just get to the ball to the 3-yard line so we can score a touchdown.
Pass protection. You wanted to protect Dak?
He can't.
Nobody does it better than he does.
Are you kidding me?
No.
He got run over at center. What is the difference between getting run over at center by a blitzing linebacker and trying to pretend that I'm going to stop a blitzing defensive end?
You've got him playing out of position, playing a position he's never played before, dealing with defensive linemen from a down 3-point stance, something he's never done before. When I'm talking about,
so you're bringing him back. So let me just understand.
It's protecting Dak by chipping on the edges.
Okay, so you're bringing him back, not as a weapon, but as a blocker. Then go get a fullback.
As a blocker and a short yardage weapon.
Go get a fullback.
I've got
it. Go. Oh, okay, but then put him in there. If they already have him, put him in there. You're trying to create a position for someone like Zeke because of the heritage and the relationship. Don't try and tell me it's raining outside right now when I know you're not doing something else.
Look, I'm not doing that, and I'm not telling you it's raining. What I'm telling you is that people have this perception of Zeke and what he is and what he should be. It's not that. I'm not using him for that, and I don't want him to be used as that. That paying him $17 million and trying to force 17 touches to him a game, I don't need to do that. But if I can get him 5 to 7 to 8 touches a game and keep him in on obvious passing situations in which I know that he can help seal off.
Stop right there. There's not another running back in the NFL that's available.
Not that's available.
Pre-draft or post-draft?
Post.
Okay. Let's go to pre-draft then. Forget Bijan. Bijan was never, I mean, it was all our wish, all our dream, our sequence of, colorization, waking up at night thinking maybe, okay? But what did the Colts do? They went and got the second base runner in the NFL draft. Now, maybe too high. That's another line. That's another conversation point. But there are other running backs out there that pre-draft could have been something that we had. And I'm cracking you up. Why am I cracking you up?
No, the comments are cracking me up on our YouTube live. Boa 210 says Spence sounds like Jimenez.
I don't know who Boa 210 is, but I'd like to meet you after the show.
I was wrong.
And you'll never hear me say that.
I'm aware.
You'll never, ever hear me say that. I will say, in the words of Paul Cantu, pump the freaking brakes. Yes, the freaking brakes. We're bringing Zeke back for 7 touches. You can't find 8 touches. Excuse me. We can't find another running back anywhere out there that can suffice a replacement for Zeke for 8 touches.
Not in terms of what he brings.
We've now gone full freaking circle.
Always. Isn't that how a best argument goes? Look, they telegraphed this thing to you since they let him go.
No, they've definitely been telegraphing. I just have not read the tea leaves. The SOS code's coming. I've ignored it. I've run from it. Do you know that? And I face some of this in Denver. Okay,
mm-hmm.
If we were in Philly, if we were in New York, we're not. I get it. I understand it. If we were in these markets, we would be be just embarrassed. We would have been taken out to the backyard and just crucified, because this crap can't work in any other market except, in this case, the Dallas Cowboys fandom. Oh yeah, let's bring him back because remember all the memories the last 10 years. Oh my. And and yes, we'll get 10. Did you see how many touchdowns we got out? 10 touchdowns. Okay. He had a total of 30 touches, but hey, we'll give it to at the 2-yard line. He'll punch through. You can't find any other player to punch through and score a touchdown at the 2-yard line than Zeke. I mean, that's really what it's come down to?
I mean, it's a little bit of a skill set. Jamal Williams did it very well. There are certain players who just have a knack when you get down that close or when you get into short yardage situations. Tom Brady had a knack for getting a first down on a QB sneak. It wasn't a knack that a lot of people had. A lot of people got stood up and stonewalled on QB sneaks. Brady always found a way to get into the end zone, down around the end zone. There are just people who have the quote unquote nose for it, right?
You just compared Zeke
to Tom Brady.
I
did.
I mean, let's think about let's take a step back and think about that for a second. Okay?
I'm not saying he's going to take Dak's job. I don't want him throwing the football.
So a nose for the end zone. Oh, okay. So there's no other player in the NFL that has a nose for the end zone. But Zeke.
That's available right now.
That's Zeke. Okay.
That's available.
Well, that's an excuse. Why didn't you go get some before the draft?
I don't know. Ask Jerry, Steven, and Will. Because their plan was always to bring him back at a rate commiserate with his
and
production.
as much as I like to argue it, I think you're absolutely 1,000% correct. And it just makes me ill. Makes me freaking ill.
This was the best way for them to get out from under Zeke, not look like the bad guy by letting him go test his market, bring him back at a price that was more conducive to what they wanted to spend.
Yeah, what they wanted to spend, because he's got another 3 to 5 years left in him. I just think we are going to be the lucky ones. Not one NFL team in the league made a phone call to him that we know of.
That you know of.
That we know of. But we can guesstimate that if there was 1 or 2 phone calls, that probably is best. But now we're going to reap the benefits of bringing Zeke back because he has a nose for the end zone. Wow. You know what? I stand back. I am in awe of the majesty of how we're executing this process.
Hey, that's the Cowboys for you. Storylines over integrity. They believe in the R&R mantra. Rob Thieves on our Kielbasa Smoke Meats phone lines texted in 656-3776, 210-656-3776. Pledge a positive to getting Zeke back. This is now Zeke with a major chip on his shoulder. Like having another draft.
Oh, yeah.
And no one take you. Zeke wants to make teams play.
Oh, yeah, man.
There you go.
He's going to come back and he's going to get 1,000 yards.
He's going to be motivated.
He's going to be motivated. He's going to get 1,000 yards. We're all going to look back and say, yeah, man, go Zeke. Yeah, baby.
Are you going to be the first one in line to get a Zeke 15 jersey from the Cowboys Pro Shop?
No, and I won't be in line to get an autograph when we're out at Oxnard either. Okay. There will be people there going, glad to see you're back, man. Glad you're back, baby. We're going to go to the Super Bowl, man. All because you're coming back.
Who has the biggest media scrum around him? Mozzie Smith or Zeke Elliott if Zeke's back?
Zeke.
Exactly.
I don't have a problem with that because people are susceptible to history, okay? They don't know what Mozzie is, let alone what he can bring. But they're doing this for all the freaking wrong reasons.
Mr. Michael Jimenez chimes in on our YouTube live feed. It's time to turn Zeke into Mike Allstott.
Well, there was a time and place for Mike Allstott, but it wasn't after he basically was forced out and come back and okay, all of a sudden now we're gonna hit Mike Allstott. Zeke is gonna take us to the Super Bowl. That's what we're setting ourselves up for. I can't wait to hear Jimenez try and sell that crap.
Speaking of Mike Jimenez, he joins us next here on Jimenez and Spence. We'll get his take on what's about to go down and what has really, really seemingly been chapping Spence's hide. That's coming up next here on Jimenez and Spence on 941 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow on R&R in the morning, Celtics, Sixers, Nuggets, Phoenix. We break it all down for you.
Will McClay still has work to do. Where are the undrafted free agents landing? We'll give them all to you. The party starts at 6.
R&R in the morning. Tomorrow at 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When you're drinking a frozen beverage from McDonald's, your brain may not like how refreshingly cold it is. But the rest of your body? Oh, yes. It's gonna relish every moment of it. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
There's no better way to cool down than with this cool deal. Get a medium frozen Coke, frozen Dr. Pepper, or frozen Fanta for just $1.79. Prices at participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
You can talk low carb all you want, but if you don't have a lineup of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the keto game. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds are high protein and low carb. Plus, they're low sugar, gluten-free, and naturally loaded in collagen. So it is a no-brainer. Get the bold flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at H-E-B and online at southernrecipesmallbatch.com.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
It can happen in an instant. A car accident can change your life forever. From serious injuries to mounting medical bills to battling insurance companies. Accidents make life harder than it should be. If you've been in an accident, George Salinas Injury Lawyers are here for you. They're local, experienced, and ready to fight for results that make a difference. If you've been injured, don't call just any lawyer. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit georgesalinas.com.
George gets justice.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pureline Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pureline Nutrition.
The XFL playoffs are here, and the league goes from 8 teams to 2. In a league of dreams and opportunities, there's only one chance to be a champion. The road to the 2023 XFL Championship ends in San Antonio. The best of the North versus the best of the South. Who will emerge the winner? The 2023 XFL Championship game, Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. XFL history will be made. Tickets are on sale now, starting at $25. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson, and this is 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back to Jimenez and Spence right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Michael Jimenez. He's Tim Spence, but luckily we got the man, the myth, the legend joining us anyway on his day off as he is sitting comfortably in Florida, was on a boat, now on a beach. Did he catch anything? Michael Jimenez?
Push your microphone.
I think he's having issues.
Oh, I can hear you.
No, I hope you can hear me.
What's going on, fellas?
He was on a boat before, and now he's on the beach, and now he has issues.
He went from a boat to a beach. But the main question we all want to know is, did he catch anything?
The big answer is we caught nothing.
Shocker.
Absolutely nothing.
Shocker.
We tried for a little while.
Yeah.
But it was getting kind of choppy. We had to get out of the water a few minutes ago.
Did you put on 2 sardines instead of 1 this time?
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. No, it was fun. It was fun. But the waves were crazy out here. I think it was up. We got to head on back to the marina.
Oh, yeah.
I'm back on land. Back on land.
Well, if the waves were that crazy, I'm glad to know that you're not capsized out at sea dealing with the perfect storm right now.
I see a little white cap, but that's 1.5 feet. I mean, come on.
His land lover stomach can't handle it.
That's why he's on the beach.
It's a Monday.
So, Mike, I saw that you joined in on the YouTube comments about the conversation about Ezekiel Elliott and his potential return to the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, if I could go to Vegas right now and place a bet as to whether or not it's going to happen, I would bet that it would. Why wouldn't it happen? And it's funny because in the last segment, I caught the last few minutes, we're discounting the fact that, oh my God, he has the nose to the end zone from 1 or 2 yards out. Who cares? No, that's an important skill set. It's not a skill set to pay $15 million for, but there is a value to somebody who can punch it in from 2 yards out. And do the Cowboys right now have somebody on the roster who can necessarily do that on a consistent basis? I don't think they do unless you're going to trust Malik Davis. And I wouldn't mind Malik Davis getting some watch. I like him actually. But no, there's something to be said about Zeke turning into a Mike Allstott type of guy. Just bring it on in. 3rd and 1, give it to Zeke.
I'm not sure.
Give it to Zeke.
Dude, if you want to compare, it's potting down a little bit because he's really loud. If you want to compare for a second, Mike Allstott to Zeke, then stop. Okay. There's no comparison. Allstott was not even in a conversation where he was the starting running back like Zeke was. Okay. Turning him into, you better put another 20, 30 pounds on Zeke if you want to compare him to Allstott. But that aside, let me ask you a question. Now you're on a boat, you're in a little inlet before, and you had no audio, no problems with the audio. You said it's windy, but you're walking down a beach where it's really windy. What would be the 1 + 1 = 2 to maybe find a little bit quieter area to broadcast versus on the beach where it's blowing like a gale?
I never said I was smart, Spence. I never did. But
we never accused you of it, Mike.
Exactly, and I never claimed to be. No, but to go on to the conversation about Zeke and basically who he is and having to add weight. When I say being like Mike Allstott, I'm not talking about being the fullback that he was back in the day when he was running in front of Warwick Dunn. What I am saying is that Warwick Dunn was the guy from the 20 to 20, and then Allstott was the guy inside the 10. And that's basically it. When it was 3rd and 1, they never gave the ball to Warwick Dunn. They always gave it to Allstott. Get that 1 yard.
Dude, that was in his prime. That was in his prime. Okay. We're gonna have a heart-to-heart tomorrow when you get back in town, is the fact that how in the world we've now compared Mike Allstott to Zeke and a physicality standpoint. But I digress.
So Mike, we were watching the NBA playoffs, and we've had a discussion about whether or not this has actually been a good playoff so far because of all the upsets that we've had, and whether this is parity or this is something more.
What do people need? This has been wonderful. What are you talking about?
Is it wonderful? Because we're missing a lot of stars.
We're missing some stars because of injuries. Okay, it happens. I mean, Giannis and the Bucks got knocked out, and you can when Giannis got hurt in Game 2. I can see that, but it's part of basketball. Right now, what do we have left over? We have Philly going up against Boston. Boston's a marquee team. People would want to see that, right? We have the whole thing of Kansas City wins twice to Embiid. I mean, that is a good storyline to tell. Then you've got LeBron taking on Steph. I mean, that is an epic thing because typically they face each other in the finals, and now they get to face each other in the Western Conference playoff. I'm super excited about that series. You're going to have to look and see what Denver's going to do. Is Phoenix going to actually take that step? Can CP3 actually stay healthy throughout the playoffs? A lot of storylines left open in the playoffs. I have no complaints right now.
Michael Jimenez, the normal host of Jimenez and Spence, weekdays noon to 3, right here on Jimenez and Spence, joining us on the Buyers Barricade guest lines. Mike, last one before we get you out of here, as your audio is fleeting as quickly as those winds are blowing in. I was wholly unimpressed by a concert that I attended while I was at the draft, as Vince Neil just ruined my perception of Motley Crue and what they were as to what they are. You remember any concerts that completely ruined the image of a band for you?
Oh, okay. That's a great question. I've oftentimes said that my favorite concert of all time was a Stone Temple Pilots concert, and the worst concert I ever went to was an STP concert because Scott Weiland was completely smashed in one of them, and it kind of sucked because that was my favorite band growing up. But I'll give you another one. Mary J. Blige. I saw her in concert. She opened up for Boys to Men in the mid-'90s in San Antonio. That is easily the worst show I've ever been to in my life. And she was going through issues back then when it came to drinking. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's what that was. But I hear she puts on a good show, years later. But back then it was a mess. And so I'll say Mary J. Blige. By the way, the whole thing about Motley Crue, though, you do know that they're like probably, what are they, 65, 70 years old? They're not the same guys as 1989.
Yeah, they don't sound like it anymore either.
Yeah, just remember, Pledge mentioned Willie Nelson earlier in the conversation. Dude, the man's 90. I mean, come on.
The only singer that I've seen perform in their 70s and beyond that was really good, I saw Daryl Hall twice at the Majestic. He was amazing. And the one time I had a chance to see the Stones in concert, I flew all the way to Vegas to watch that concert, and it was canceled 4 hours before the show. So I never got to see Mick Jagger.
I've seen him twice. The best concert that I've ever seen was the Stones because they played off all their songs off the Let It Bleed.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that will just send me into absolute joy and exaltation is Monkey Man. And they played it, unbeknownst to me, all of a sudden they came out playing Let It Bleed, Monkey Man, and I am just going berserk. For those that care, I guess.
I think you scared him off.
I think he just said, enough of you, Spence. I'm gone.
He's like, I am done with this conversation. You can take your Monkey Man.
Yeah, I mean,
and stick it where the sun don't shine.
Exactly. He's on the beach. He got out of the boat. I don't know if he's stuck on the beach because I don't see anybody else around him. I mean, all of a sudden he just says bye-bye. Okay.
You think they ran aground?
It would not. If he was driving, anything's possible. Anything is possible.
He is Tim Spence. I'm James Pledger. You're listening to Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Coming up next, the Dallas Cowboys draft. Well, they addressed a need in the first round, and we'll hear straight from the source of that man, Mozzie Smith, who was on the Blitz on Friday. We'll play a part of that interview coming up next right here on Jimenez and Spence on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM and ESPNSA.com.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Yeah, 48 hours later, and hopefully Zeke is still not a need for the Cowboys. Who won the draft? Eagles, Texans, right up there. For the Cowboys? I don't know. Playoff shockers, Bruins, Avs, Grizzlies, Bucks, Kings, all out. The playoffs continue tomorrow night, though, right here. Knicks and Heat, Game 2. Jimmy Butler, does he play? We'll find out Tuesday at 6 on sister station ESPN 1250.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Davies Entertainment, Viva La Brawl, coming to the Techport Arena May 5th, and we have your chance to win your way in. Join the Blitz live this Wednesday at Slackers North Star from 3 to 7. Meet and greet with Viva La Brawl fighters Brown Navarez, Brittany Ordonis, and Eddie Ortiz. Happy hour specials and your chance to win free tickets to Viva La Brawl on Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. It's this Wednesday at Slackers North Star with the Sports Star and Davies Entertainment crew, all starting at 3 o'clock.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here with Dwayne Sharping of Roof Fix. Hey, Dwayne, tell me about solar.
Well, you want solar to look beautiful. It's going to increase the value of your home. I mean, call us here at Roof Fix Solar Energy. Our solar is innovative. Our systems are installed just like shingles. They're really powerful, and we can really cut out paying the utility bill.
Call 210 Fix Roof. It's time for solar. He said it. I'm doing it. Call 210 Fix Roof. Put it on a roof. Save some money. Call Roof Fix today.
Roof Fix, home of the low price guarantee.
In business, everything your employees do impacts your brand, including what they wear. Cintas has high-performance workplace apparel for almost every job imaginable. From work shirts and pants, to polos and khakis, to Oxfords or T-shirts, these clothes move, breathe, and look great. Your team gets the styles they like, you convey the image you want. And Cintas service includes weekly laundry and delivery. To learn more, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? But taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil supports your daily digestive health using a special plant-based fiber called psyllium. Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is every day.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
We're recording this Progressive commercial on a real boat to let people know that when you bundle your home, boat, and other vehicles...
What was that, Flo?
Progressive saves you money, Jamie!
Why are we doing this on a boat?
We were going for authenticity!
We're going to city?
Authenticity!
You mean Atlantic City? But we're not in the Atlantic. Are we?
Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
It's showtime. It's Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back to Jimenez and Spence right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, ESPNSA.com. I'm James Pledger, filling in for Mike Jimenez today, who is out on the beach.
Somewhere. A desert island, all by himself. These textures are getting a little out of hand, man.
Oh, you have some issues with the text line?
Little out of hand.
Spence joining me.
Little out of hand. I mean, I don't know what's in the water today, but, need to calm down.
Rob tweeted in, we haven't seen this Zeke before. Tell that wet blanket of a human that he owes me a Mexican dinner when I'm right, which I can only imagine a Denver Mexican dinner being American cheese and a mission tortilla with ketchup.
Tell us how you really feel. How about Kraft singles instead of good American cheese? That work?
It sounds equally awful.
Crazy.
The Dallas Cowboys Varying reports give you varying different grades. I think the Cowboys did pretty well. I give them a B. I give them a B on their draft.
I think a B is fair. I think a B is. I mean,
I don't think it's a B plus.
No, I think it's right in the middle. I mean, you could probably talk yourself into a B minus, C plus, and to the point of you can even talk about maybe being an A minus in this conversation.
I've seen it on all ends of that spectrum.
Yeah, you're not going to really know for at least 2, maybe 3 years. Okay, so if that's the case, let's just call it a B and move on.
But
there's a big but.
In the first round, they did manage to tackle what is a perceived weakness on the team, that being interior defensive line. Mazi Smith, the defensive tackle out of Michigan, great run stopper, pushes the pocket from within. And I think when you're picking at 26, you could have argued Osiris Torrance, who went later in the second round, or Cody Mock or something like that, if you were looking offensive line. But in terms of value, I feel like they probably got the most value out of getting a Mazi Smith versus, and if they truly desired those other pieces, trading back up in the second round and getting them. I think they nailed it because I don't think Mazi was going to last much longer than he did.
Okay. I don't have the players up in here in front of me, so I don't know for sure. But I'm going to throw a wild card at you. Do we need another tight end somewhere in the second round? Even though there are a lot of tight ends taken in the second round, in the first, for good portion of the second, or do we need an offensive guard before a tight end?
I'm not sure that guard is so much a need as much as unless you could find a guard that can play center.
Okay. But we're looking for multifaceted offensive linemen in some form or fashion. Correct?
Sure.
Okay.
I could use somebody with some position flex on the interior line.
Okay. We don't even know what Ferguson can do at tight end. And now we're bringing in at the 27th pick.
Shoemaker.
What does that tell you right there?
They don't believe
in Ferguson,
Jake Ferguson, or Peyton Hendershot
at all. So one of them's going.
I don't think they're going.
They're not going to keep 3 tight ends, dude. You're not going to keep 3 tight ends.
They kept 3 tight ends last year.
But that's a different animal. It was a offensive. You could sit there and say that their offensive decisions weren't based on necessarily the right premise. Now that Mike McCarthy's running a West Coast offense, you don't need 3 tight ends. You don't.
Why not? I thought the West Coast offense was predicated on tight ends.
Not necessarily 3 tight ends, unless they're all going to be, in some form or fashion, a different piece of the puzzle.
Well, each one, you can argue their skill set lends to a different piece of the puzzle.
But they're not putting 2 tight ends on the line of scrimmage every play. So if that is what their plan is, then maybe you do need 3. But I don't see them putting 2 tight ends on the line of scrimmage every play, because then they're running. Okay, it's a run play 90% of the time.
It feels like tight end in the second was a reach. Mazi Smith felt like a home run pick.
It was a home run.
And he joined Jason and Joe on the Blitz on Friday and discussed what it was like from those 24 hours to being selected in the first round of the NFL draft all the way up to ending up at the Star the very next day, and how he was processing all of that.
It's the real quick turnarounds, man, a lot of emotions. When I first got drafted, man, I didn't know what to say. It was a stunning moment, a moment that a long time coming, but today, I feel like I'm ready to blow up. We need to get into training camp or something.
Mazi, when you get there to the Star in Frisco and you see the facility and you meet, some of the, I don't know how many players you met, but the coaches and Jerry Jones and all of that, that's just got to be, like going to Disneyland, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for real, it is. It is. It's like going to, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the level of opulence in this building is on another level. And you could just tell that, Mr. Jones and the staff in here and the ownership, everybody just takes care of this place, take care of their players, take care of their people. This is a family. It's a family first atmosphere here, and I'm just happy and just proud to be part of it.
Mozzie Smith joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Mike McCarthy mentioned multiple times last night in the press conference about how you crushed it on your visit, one of those visits that you had. Tell us what that visit was like for you.
Man, it was star-studded. You know, I saw people that I had heard about. I saw people that I had seen at other places, and you know, of course, I saw Mr. Jones, who I've seen everywhere. You know, and just knowing football the way I do, the hands that I was shaking, I was just very appreciative and just very open and letting people know who I was and the type of person I am and the type of player I want to be. You know, even meeting, you know, Coach Reese, you know, Sharif Floyd, he coach here and and just meeting him and being able to talk ball with him and chop it up with him, you know, it's just an honor and just an honor, man.
Well, I tell you what, I can't even imagine, Jason and I, either one, Mozzie, what you're feeling right now, because we never got to where you're at, but it's got to be a surreal feeling. So to Cowboy fans that are wondering about Mozzie Smith, what would you say is the strength of your game?
First off, I'm a dog first, so everything that you see me do on the field is aggressive. I'm always the aggressor. That's my goal. You know, put my hands on somebody and make them go backwards. You know, I'm a physical player. I was physical at the college level, and it's time to figure out how to be physical at this level too.
And you're strong. I mean, your strength is your strength, isn't it? I mean, you're ridiculously strong and athletic for your size.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it is. I mean, Mozzie Smith joining us here on the Blitz. I'm curious. I mean, you look at all the mock drafts and take us through the process. I mean, I don't know if you consumed all the mock drafts and some had you going there, some here, some there. What's it like for you? And did you think you were going to end up where you are with a star on your helmet?
Well, you know, I saw a couple of mock drafts where we were talking about, you know, 26 to the Cowboys or 29 to New Orleans, you know. And I just like, are they serious? But I just, you know, I know people drop. You know, I know how much you can't, you know, you gotta take every mock draft with a grain of salt. So I was just trying to, you know, keep a level head and listen to my agent, you know, and just manage expectations, you know. But you know, they was right. You know, Mozzie Smith, 26 pick to the Cowboys, to the star, is a beautiful thing, a beautiful feeling, and a blessing.
We know Cowboy fans are feeling the same way, but I have a feeling, Mozzie, that we owe your mom a bit of gratitude when it comes to how good a player you are. Heard a story that she threatened to take away your Pop-Tarts back in Pop Warner. What was that all about?
Yeah, she did. I was 7. I was 7 playing for the Titans. I think I was playing on the Mighty Mites. I was playing with the 9 and 10-year-olds, or the Tiny Mites, 9 and 10-year-olds, and we in the middle of a game. I'm on the field. You know, I'm lined up over the center, and I just hear her scream. I know her voice. I hear her scream. She's talking about, if you don't make a play, you ain't get no Pop-Tarts. I was like, if I had, I was like, all right, bet. I make something happen.
Everybody's motivated by different things, Mozzie. And, you know, I know you're now an NFL player. Let that sink in a minute. But coming from the NIL world of college football, you could probably work that into an endorsement deal with Pop-Tarts at this point, but also with your name, with your name, Moz. Have you found the Maserati dealership there in Dallas yet to try to get an NIL deal with those guys?
We're going to start working. You know, I hired a pretty good agency. We're going to put them boys to work here soon.
All right, I got to ask you this too, Mozzie. I know you've been talking about. You're a big In-N-Out guy, right? Did I hear that right?
Nah, yeah, I had In-N-Out one time in Arizona. Okay. One time in Arizona. I got to try Whataburger.
Yeah, we got a big rivalry here in Texas between In-N-Out and Whataburger. So you got to try a Whataburger.
Yeah, I'll just tell you what, you know, I don't know how impressive that In-N-Out burger really was. You know, people was lined up around the corner for that. And I was like, when I got it, I was like, line up around the corner for this.
You're winning Cowboy fans over already, man. But I got to ask. I mean, 6'3", 320. What is your Whataburger order going to be?
Well, I had to stop ordering two of everything. Because I'm just trying to stay I'm 330 right now, but I'm just trying to maintain that. You know what I'm saying? So, 2 burgers and 2 fries ain't good no more. So we just gotta lock in.
Here's the beautiful thing, Mozzie, and I would never lie to you, my friend, even though we just met. That double bacon cheeseburger at Whataburger, it won't add any calories to your diet. Just only do it like once and don't tell the coach.
All right, I got you. All right, it's our little secret.
Yeah, that's us, man. Mozzie, congratulations. Enjoy the whirlwind. Can't wait to meet you in person out in Oxnard. By the way, training camp in Oxnard is fantastic. You're going to enjoy that far better than what you've experienced to this point, man. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, man. Congratulations.
For sure, man. I appreciate it.
Mozzie Smith joining Jason and Joe on the Blitz on Friday. Of course, you can catch that interview in its entirety at ESPNSA.com. Just check the audio vault. It'll be right there for you.
I think it's a win-win.
I think it works. The one that keeps coming back to both of us is Shoemaker. I just don't understand that pick.
I still don't understand it. 3 tight ends, and not one of them have jumped out at you to say a viable Travis Kelce type receiver that falls into this West Coast mindset of what a optimal tight end would be. And if that's the case, at the second pick as your option, you passed on all these other guys. What is the plan at tight end?
The plan at tight end is interesting, and we'll break it all down next as we get ready to get out of here on Jimenez and Spence. James Pledger filling in for Mike Jimenez. That's Tim Spence. Edwin Hefner producing today's show. When we come back, what to make of the Shoemaker pick, and how did the Cowboys perceive it? That's all coming up next right here on Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Viva La Brawl! Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo at the Techport Arena. R&R in the Morning have your tickets to see San Antonio's own Castaneda brothers, along with the Navarez versus Heinen fight, Destiny Jones versus Brittany Ordonez, and more. Listen to R&R in the Morning at 7:05, 8:05, and 9:05 for your chance to win. Just listen for the fight bell, and you could be on your way to Viva La Brawl. Plus, one lucky winner will get the ultimate upgrade to VIP ringside seats, along with plenty of swag. Presented by Davies Arena and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Buy tickets at daviesentertainment.com.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The XFL playoffs are here, and the league goes from 8 teams to 2. In a league of dreams and opportunities, there's only one chance to be a champion. The road to the 2023 XFL Championship ends in San Antonio. The best of the North versus the best of the South. Who will emerge the winner? The 2023 XFL Championship Game, Saturday, May 13th at 7 p.m. at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. XFL history will be made. Tickets are on sale now starting at $25. Visit xfl.com/tickets.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Gomez Law Firm has been taking care of the people of San Antonio for almost 50 years, the leader in personal injury law. Jose, tell us a little bit more about what you do.
We do ride-sharing cases, 18-wheeler cases. Obviously, we've done those for very many years. Work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Aggies basketball plays here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thrill is gone. The thrill is gone.
I don't know if the thrill is gone, but the confusion has definitely set in.
We're not past it, that's for sure.
I keep looking at the Luke Shoemaker pick because it doesn't make sense to me. And maybe the guys will get to ask this tomorrow to Will McClay, as the Blitz will be joined by the Vice President of Player Personnel, Will McClay, tomorrow on the Blitz. What did they see in Luke Shoemaker when they took him at 58th overall? Because a lot of people had him ranked as probably somewhere in the 100s of a prospect. He only caught 35 balls for 418 yards and 3 scores last year, but that's not the indicative stat that I wanted to get to with him. The one that just shocks me more than anything is he averaged 2.15 yards per route run last season and caught just 28.6% of balls that were contested.
Let me give you the first 3 tight ends and what they say about him.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Dalton Kincaid is an efficient route runner. Let's go to the second round. And give me a second. And we've got Sam Laporta. Laporta is a crisp route runner. Let's go to the third one. Michael Mayer, Notre Dame.
He's an all-around guy.
Is an excellent route runner whose ability to create separation with physicality getting out of his breaks is outstanding. So you passed on all of that, and we get down to Shoemaker. Uses his strength and savvy to generate late separation running routes. He has the body control to adjust to throws outside his frame, and he excels in catching the ball in traffic. Yet, he didn't get a lot of passes when he was in college.
Well, maybe he was separating too late. Look, if you want a blocking tight end, I get it, but why not go get the best of those guys in Darnell Washington out of Georgia, who is a 600, 270-pound, basically extra offensive lineman?
I can't argue the point because it makes all the sense of the world. If tight end is important at 2,
if blocking tight end is important at 2, because that's basically what they're telling us
right now. But if you're running a West Coast, you want blocking, but you want someone as another receiver. We talked about the Broncos. Okay, Shanahan, West Coast, Shannon Sharp, Hall of Famer,
Owen Daniels,
right? All those player options at tight end are based on a West Coast offense.
George Kittle.
They need a ball catching prowess at tight end. I don't think Shoemaker is.
His tape doesn't tell me he is. That's for sure. So that's the head scratching part about this when I look at it is, where does he fit? Because that feels like the biggest reach of all. And if it was the biggest reach, did they see guys like Darnell Washington and Michael Mayer start coming off the board and go, oh, bleep, we need a guy that can block before they're all gone?
Well, if that's the case, then, maybe they deserve a C-. I mean, who knows exactly what went through their mind, but we're so wrapped up in the emotion of drafting a running back out of TCU and there's the emotional aspect of that, and okay, that's fine.
Does the emotion that brought mask kind of the question marks of the
it
middle?
absolutely erases any other questions about what happened between Mozzie and the end of the draft.
Because I look at the North Carolina offensive tackle, Asim Richards. As a run blocker in 2022, he was a sub 60 PFF graded run blocker. On a scale of 1 to 100. It's not good.
Not good.
Mike Jimenez will be back tomorrow. Maybe he'll let you know what he thinks of Zeke. For Tim Spence, I'm James Pledger. Thank you for joining us on Jimenez and Spence on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Blitz is next. See ya.
It's Jimenez and Spence. Follow Mike Jimenez at Mike ESPN SA. Tim Spence